now we're going. And now I can say that is intimate dinner with Chris and anybody else who's going to join us on the stream. We will be talking Metroid Dread spoilers. And yes, we are live. So there we go. I make sure the
There you go.
title is
Everybody
right.
join us.
So we are live on the streams. Hopefully Restream is doing its thing, and I can see the chat and YouTube as well. So if anybody watching there, like our friend Caesar who likes to show up there too, hopefully he'll be there and he'll join in the conversation. But again, this is the November dinner table show where we talk about Metroid Dread spoilers. So if you have not played this game, or you haven't finished it, or you haven't gotten to a certain point, we don't want to spoil it because there's some pretty cool stuff that happens while you're playing that I would hate for you to lose that same energy that I did when I got to that point. So, Chris, tell everybody where you're at in the game so everybody knows that you are where you are, but you still want to talk about the game.
So, Tim, I'm at the final boss fight. I have a save at the elevator right before I go up, and then I've tried, I'm counting on fingers for people on audio, a lot. I'm going to say 15 or so times. I've just learned, I guess, in the pre-show that I might be on phase 1 of this battle. And so I'm pecking away at it. I'm persistent, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
And no pun intended when you said pecking away at it.
No pun intended. It's I think we talked about this. It's like not you got persistence is virtue, I guess, or something like that. But
yes,
like a lot of these boss fights, a lot of pattern recognition that you have to figure out. So I'm still kind of getting there, and I'll have flashes of brilliance where I get a little bit further, see a little bit more, and then have 3 or 4 attempts where you're just like, what were you doing? And you have to step away, like you said.
Yes.
If you get too angry and you gotta get too frustrated, like shut it down, come back with a clear head, and go at it again. But overall, the game is a lot of fun. I'm loving it.
Yes, I agree, and we'll gush. I am certain I'm having a hard time with words, and it has nothing to do with what I'm drinking. I've only had half a can of the hard cider, so it's just lately I'm having a hard time with words. But we'll be gushing about this game, I'm sure, as we go through the things that I got. As far as when I was playing, these are screenshots and videos from when I was playing that I knew I'd want to talk about. However, I did not capture everything just because of heat of the moment, whatever, or didn't think of it, or just so happy I got past a certain point. I just kept going, and I was like, oh crap, I should have gotten a picture. But I tried to get as much as I could. And if there's anything I missed in here, I apologize, and we can certainly talk about it in a discussion in our Discord if you're part of that, or you can hit up the Nintendo Dads on their Twitter page, and we can discuss more there. With that, let's get started. We'll start going through the images and the videos here. Now, one thing I'm not sure, Chris, is that when I go to play the video, I don't know if you'll hear the sound, but I don't think that will probably matter. Just the imagery enough will probably help us be able to start talking about things. So we can either get through some things quickly and talk about anything of interest as we go along as well. So take as long as we want.
I played a lot of this on Switch Lite while other people were around, so I tended to have the volume. Oh, sounds great.
Cool. I didn't know it was going to be this loud.
It looks gorgeous.
Yes.
Now, who is this we were fighting here?
What's that?
Who is that we were fighting there?
That would be Ravenbeak, right?
Okay.
That would be the first guy. That's who you're fighting right now.
That is, yeah.
But this is how we start off the game, is basically getting off to meeting Ravenbeak. This is what everybody sees in the trailers. So we know this is not a surprise. It's not even a spoiler yet, if you will. It's just this is who we are seeing uh, when we play the game, and and get more of a story as to why Samus ends up the way she does when we get further down in the game. So again, this came up in the trailer, so we're all familiar with this one pretty much. So, and this is one of the screenshots I took because I thought it was just cool, how he jumps up
Yeah.
in the air and he's coming at you. So, one of the things I wanted to point out during this, and I love the visual, but I do have to point out some things that I know a lot of people talked about on Twitter when this game came out, closer to the time it came out, and that is the graphics on the Switch. A lot of people were like, if the Switch Pro had come out with a better processor, this game probably would have looked a lot better. And those are probably the same people who would love to see this on a PlayStation or an Xbox. Um, for this game being on the go, obviously I'm already used to games not being as high fidelity as say PlayStation and stuff, but I do see, obviously you can see some of the graphic lines and some of you know the edges and stuff like that, but still I like the way it looks. I like how it's jumping at you, and I like the just the whole game itself. It just looks fantastic to me on the Switch, especially being a
Well,
Switch.
I mean, well, let's say for someone who doesn't, I'm a Nintendo only. I think John calls it. I'm the faithful one.
You're
In
not
Dad's
spoiled.
afterward. Yeah, I'm not a cheater.
Yeah.
I don't have that perspective, so I'm not going to say I think the game's gorgeous.
Yes.
Generally, just just on the face of it. So I would never nitpick. Oh yeah, sure, Xbox might look. I don't even know what that means. Looks nicer. The game looks great.
It does. It does look great. And just, but obviously, when you are spoiled by the other graphical higher graphics games, higher fidelity type stuff, then you start seeing things. But again, I just tuned it out or tried to not focus on that and just enjoyed for what it is. It's on the Switch and it
Yeah,
looks fantastic.
I think coming from someone, I'm a bit more of the Dan John retro logic kind of crowd. Uh, I think Super Mario original Super Mario looks great. So maybe that clouds my judgment. Maybe it's a bit of a rose covered glass. I'm a retro guy, so yeah, this is for a modern game. I think this looks
Right.
great, right?
Well, and I said too how I enjoy the I've been playing the Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, and I said that looks great on the Switch. It's a game that was a PC game, or even on the Xbox 360, I think it was when that came out then on a console, and just looked great then. Obviously, at that time, it looked great at the time, but it was still boxy and polygony and all that kind of stuff. But now it looks great for being on the go, as big of a game as it is, and as great of a game as it is. It looks great on the Switch for that game. So, again,
Yeah,
I know what I'm playing on, I know what I'm going to lose in regards to playing on the go. In regards to this, it looks great. There might be some things I see that pop up, but over time, if they do any patches, if it's really bad, they will take care of it. Otherwise, it still looks great.
I mean, for context, the only time I ever said a game looked blocky and was the Nintendo 64, and some of that stuff is pretty terrible. But uh, Ocarina of Time is still my favorite game, probably ever,
Yeah,
and I'll go and play it on the original hardware and say, yeah, but that is a box.
yeah.
Like it's not. You're right.
And it's always with Nintendo, obviously, it's always about fun, and then if the game looks pretty, then it's a bonus. So,
Yeah.
all right, let's see what we got next. We got a video.
Spending time in cold areas will be harmful.
All right, so this is the first time you
there
end
are
up
many such cold
talking
areas
with.
scattered underground. Do not enter
Turn that
them
down a
with
little
your
bit.
basic
Where we
Adam.
talk, yeah, Adam there. So I figured that would capture
underground
that.
interference
What did you
with
think of
affecting
Adam
radio
when you first
transmission,
met him and stuff like that?
detecting
Especially
network
because from your
stations
perspective,
and
you didn't play previous Metroid games. This is like your first Metroid, right? So
Yeah, I mean, in terms of like narrative storytelling, I felt like, okay, this is exhibition.
okay.
Not exhibition. Yeah, exposition dumper. Like that's all. This guy's going to tell me the story.
Yep, yep. And do you know the backstory to Adam? I think it talks about a little bit at the beginning.
Not really.
Okay. Adam was in Other M. It kind of gave a little bit more backstory in Other M as well, where Adam was a human who helped train
No.
uh, people in the Federation force, including Samus, and but then sacrificed his life to save Samus. And I'm trying to remember. It's been a long time since I played Other M, but just remembering from watching other people play it, and like I think Marty even played it, Jesse played it. So again, and but yeah, Adam sacrificed himself so that Samus could live and stuff like that. But his consciousness or whatever I think was uploaded into the computer or AI. So
So is this too spoiler to say that Adam is basically 006?
I
For the
don't know.
record,
I don't know. I don't know because
I
when we get there, we'll talk about Adam some more when we get there.
all right,
So
that's
because I don't think it was the same Adam. I don't think it was the
okay.
same. I could be
Yeah,
wrong though.
I guess if Sean was a consciousness, maybe.
So all right, let's go. We'll talk about let's go on to the next one. Another video. All right, so this is when I first got the Omega gun. How did you feel when you first got this gun? And you get the first Emmy.
So my aim. So let's be honest. This is where a lot of the deaths happen.
You were trying to get used to it?
Because I was trying to get used to it, and I'm kind of shaky. So the first stage where you're shooting the protective cover off.
Yeah.
If you're not very steady with your hand, you're missing up or down, and then it gets too close, and then it stabs you in the neck. And so the first time this happened, I was thinking like, wait a minute, I have a health meter there. What the hell with the insta kill? And then just, I guess, finding enough room where I can still have that unsteady hand, and then the death blow there.
Yep. So the first one though, the shield was already off, so it's basically letting you get used to.
Still, like, again, not like, don't ever challenge me to an archery contest or whatever, because it's not going to go well.
Especially with a controller, right? I get it.
Yeah, even with a controller, my aim is awful, and I guess I know, shaky hands. It took 5 tries.
I get it. Especially when, there was one, I don't remember which one it was, but there was one where I had to blow up the shield first, then get away, so that I can get another space to get a shot at its face.
Oh yeah,
so I get it.
And I think it was the third last one where I found a spot where it had to climb up on the ceiling to get to me. Yes. And I thought, oh man, I'm too smart by half, because I figured this guy out. There's no way it's getting all the way across without me knocking off the shield and then blowing it off. But it still did it 5 times. And I was like, man, but I was so smart. What the hell? I thought I figured it out. But I still was, it's a shaky hand. I couldn't aim it.
Right. Yes, it is definitely harder for that too.
I mean, I was kind of encouraged when Noah, who'd been through the game and beat it a week ago, maybe longer actually, said, hey Dad, best part, the last one is a cutscene and you don't have to do anything. And I thought, oh man.
Oh yeah, yeah. We'll get to that too. We'll get to that Emmy too. So
it worked.
Yep. And that was nice. But here I took a screenshot of the first save point just because I liked what it looked like. Again, graphically, this game, the lighting looks fantastic in a lot of these scenes, and I have more shots of how the lighting effects show off the environment and Samus.
A lot of time when you go into these, either the map room, one of the save rooms, or you go into larger open areas, the detail in the background and stuff's going on in the background.
Exactly. Yep, I have more of those too, where you would see background stuff. Yeah.
For a 2D game, foreground and background is beautiful.
Well, and that's where I think it was helpful, where Mercury Steam worked with the Nintendo to do Samus Returns for the 3DS, because they had to work with the 3D environments there, to where here was like, okay, we don't have 3D, but we can make it look as 3D as possible. So definitely, definitely, I think you could see what they were able to do with that there. from their experience in there. So this is just a cutscene, me copying again, or showing the graphics and the lighting and everything they were able to do from that. Just the save scene alone.
And I'll say that this is where my obsessive compulsive disorder comes in, because I would sometimes leave the room. I would save, leave the room, go back, save again. It's go back out, get a missile, go back again, save again.
Yeah, because you didn't want to get too far without.
Yeah, you want to get too far. My son's infuriated watching me. Dad, you saved 3 times in the last 5 minutes. Like, I just want to be sure.
Yes.
Just be careful. He's like, Dad, you haven't done anything that you need to save again. Well, just in case. And so, yes, I feel like some kind of crazy person when other people are watching me do that. But yeah, I will.
No, I did the same
save
thing.
until the end of the world.
If I look on the map and I'm like, there's not something here that looks like I'm going to get to a save point, I will backtrack. Just so if I got something significant, I don't lose it if I die and have to redo the whole thing. So I get it. I did that a few times too. And then Friendo in our chat says the saving was pretty cool with the spinning discs. He said he liked that too.
Yeah, I did. The one thing that really drove me nuts, because I just learned today, was I'm scanning the map everywhere for stuff I can get, and Noah's like, "Oh, the easy part is just looking where it's flashing white." You're like, "Oh, are you kidding me?" I think I've scoured every place in this map several times, and all I did to do was look for it like that. Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
Something you could have told me that like 2 weeks ago.
Right. I get you. All right. So this is another example of the background. I took a picture of this one to show, how just the background in a lot of scenes throughout the game. There was even one that I missed that I wasn't paying attention to. I saw it, but I didn't really think of anything to capture it. Somebody put it out as you're climbing through the different areas throughout the map. You are seeing the elevator shaft, that you came down in. So it was.
And for people on audio, it's like a cave sort of thing, and there's rock outcrops in the background and lighting and the shadows and everything. It's awesome.
Yep. All right, so the next one. Okay, this is an example of the lighting again. This is the Atom room before you connect to it. And just the lighting when you walk in, you see Samus with the green on her suit's lit up, and this is before I get any upgrades to her suit, I think. So, because I think I took pictures of those instances, and then the lighting in the background before you fire it up or get power to the room or anything like that. This is I just ate it up. So, and I made a joke about this. If anybody knows Pink Floyd, and haven't seen any of their concerts, this just remind me of some of their concert scenes where they had the big circle in the background and they show videos on it.
Yeah, true. Like that. I mean, you mentioned the suit upgrades, but like I guess the original Metroid obviously had the 8-bit limitation, but I think as I got more and more upgrades to the suit in this game, Samus looks like a badass biker chick now.
Yes.
There was more edges to the suit. It got like here. Those are the spikes. This is getting pretty badass.
Right.
She's gonna mess up somebody.
Don't want to meet her in the bar.
Right? Yeah. No. If you're outside at the country music bar, you get out of her way.
Right.
She's gonna take somebody down.
So let's see. And then Friendo also said, check out the video from Boundary Break. They zoom out and in on this scene to see different assets. I don't know if he's talking about this scene or this one. Because I missed it when he posted that, but it might have been one of these two. But definitely zooming in on any of the areas that I'm going to have showing up as well. Like you were talking about earlier, Chris, there's certain things that you just catch when you're going through an environment and see in the background something happen. And I do have screenshots of that later that we'll talk about. So, all right. So this is a video showing the same thing of before I interact with Adam and fire him up, and how the lighting effects, again, just blew me away, so I had to capture it, you know?
Uploading data.
Both enemies
So we're using
are
Adam, the
clearly
pronoun,
trying
as
to
a
capture you.
male then?
They may have been
Yes.
trapped. If
Okay.
so, it's reasonable to assume all Emmy will be hostile.
So yeah, this is just talking about
Emmy
Emmys and
sent out a
stuff. So
pulse to detect.
more lighting. There we go. It took a moment to get it set, but this is getting into a map room before firing up the map room, and the lighting again looking spectacular. Just again, I just loving it.
I think I was most impressed with the map rooms.
Yes.
Because it's almost like watching Avengers when Tony Stark expands something in like a virtual holographic space. That's exactly what that
Yes.
came up to me. That's pretty awesome.
Maybe that's what they got inspired by. So now we'll get in. I have some screenshots about the map, so we'll talk about that in a minute. And then Friendo said, yeah, it was the cave scene he was talking about. So I remember there were animals in the background that ended up running away when you get to a certain point in the cave scene too. So that was pretty cool to see. Again,
Yeah, I feel like if you're a graphics person, you're definitely looking for different things, but you're definitely zooming in on that.
Yeah. So here, this is when I got back to the beginning areas where you start the game, and you can see the bridge blown away, blown up from your fight with Raven Beak. And then, of course, the elevator is blowing up, so you can't take the easy way away to go back to your ship, obviously.
Right.
That's the point of it, right? So,
right.
But yeah, this is, again, fantastic. I was eating up the graphics. In fact, there's another screenshot. I think this one. Yeah. I used on my phone for a little while. I downloaded it to my phone and used it as a background because I just love the purple trees and the background of the broken up elevator shaft and all that stuff. So
yeah, I think this has got to take over from Animal Crossing for my work background on my computer.
Okay, yeah. It'd be cool if Nintendo could give some of those high res images for this game, you know. Maybe eventually they will.
I mean, people still ask me what Isabel is drinking at the middle of the morning, but I think we're past that now.
Yes. So here that's one of the things I wanted to show, and this is why I kept this one, is just the things going on in the background.
Yep.
So that's that. We'll be seeing this guy sometime soon.
I mean, let's be honest. Those doors, though, are super frustrating when there's an enemy who's about to murder you right behind you, and the door doesn't.
Right. So another area where I took thought it was a cool background, with the lava and the fire and all that kind of stuff. So.
Yeah, and if you look where you're in the tunnel and the glass, and you're outside.
Yeah.
For the rest of it, yeah, that's amazing.
That's really cool stuff. Let's see. Why did I do this one? Oh, probably more of the lighting effects and getting to the thermal locks. Just again, I'm impressed by the graphics and everything just beautiful game.
I mean, this is a little bit Dad's After Dark, but I always found Samus connects to the whatever mechanism, and maybe she pulls out too fast. Hey-o.
Yes.
But, hey, just stick it in a little bit longer. I mean, it's just the tip, right?
Right. Yes.
So, yeah,
that's correct.
That's definitely the beer talking for sure.
Steve and Friendo says, since Adam doesn't refer to Samus as lady after touching down is that a clue that Ravenbeak was pretending to be Adam? If I remember correctly, there is one point where he does refer to her as lady, if I remember correctly, but don't go by my memory. My memory's bad. So, but that could be a clue. But see, we'll get to that eventually to the end here, because Chris, you're under the impression that Adam is controlled by Ravenbeak. And
so yeah, can we talk about the opening of the boss fight at the end?
The opening of the boss fight?
Yeah, like you enter, you go up an elevator.
Yes. Yeah, well, you actually
Talk,
get to that point. I do have
yeah,
it saved.
so you talk to Adam.
Yes.
You get the idea, like, wait a minute, something's up. She shoots Adam.
Hmm.
It's not Adam.
Yeah.
It's Ravenbeak.
Yep. In that scene, yes, that makes perfect sense. But I think Adam is Adam throughout the game up until that point. For me, is what I thought.
Okay. So I got the idea. I had the what?
Yeah.
I've been tricked the whole time. And
And
I
that's
thought,
possible. Maybe
yeah,
maybe that is possible. I think it's just based on your perspective, I guess. For me, it was just like, okay, I thought Adam was part of my ship. So
yeah.
Adam was communicating to me from my ship to this point, but I know the ship was having a hard time communicating through to Samus directly, and that's why she had to interface through the systems. But maybe it was hacked by Ravenbeak. I don't know. So that's a
I'm
possibility.
going back to think now to reverse engineer it. I thought, yeah, you can't connect to your ship. So I thought Adam was just on the planet already and saying, hey, something's going down here. These Emmy things are going wild.
Yeah.
Let's figure it out. What's going on? So I thought Adam was actually. I didn't. I guess I thought Adam was an AI.
He
And then
is.
yeah, but then I realized, but then I find at the end he's being not manipulated. No, I thought he was. I thought he was a cover.
Yeah. In that scene for sure, I was like, "Oh, that's not a real Adam. That was just but maybe it is through the whole game. I don't know. I'll
Yeah,
have to look at that again."
yeah.
So, but
I would lean that way that he's not.
he's not at all through the whole thing. Is
No,
It's Ravenbeak leading her on.
yeah, he's
Okay.
manipulating you the whole time.
All right.
He Ravenbeak a dude. I mean, I don't an alien bird. I don't think it really matters.
Yeah. So, all right. So this is I was trying to figure out what to do here. I was like, all right, I'm getting damaged. Can I get through the game or get through the stage without dying? Nope.
Yeah, I 100% tried that about 6 times.
I was like, maybe I just
I'm
have
gonna
to run
cheat
through
the system.
quick and then I'll get to where I
Yeah,
need to.
I'll cheat the system and I'll get through faster.
Yeah, I was like, nope.
I'll hack the game, and my son's like, "Dad, this isn't going to get any better because there's still more gold."
Right.
Yep.
Let's see. Ninfrendo says Samus doesn't seem to be practicing safe interfacing, just jamming her blaster into any old receptacle.
Well, for Ninfrendo, I'll say that I think she's using safe interfacing because she's using protection.
Yes.
Yeah, she's not sticking her arm directly in there.
Yep.
Yeah,
She's sticking her cannon in there.
sticking her cannon in there, so she's wrapped up her arm. Yep, I don't know if that's a spoiler because her arm's got something going on at the end.
That's her other arm, yeah.
Oh no, that's her other arm. Okay,
Yeah.
so maybe she should be using that arm instead, the safe arm.
Right. Let's see. Ninfrendo says I did the same thing in the lava area too, laughing out loud. Trying to run through it quickly. All right, so
I didn't do the general lava area, but when I went into the actual wet lava part,
yeah.
I thought, yeah, no, I'm smarter. I can get through there.
So we see this in the trailer, but I had to, save the video again just because this is one of those scenes where it's just like, I mean, we already know Samus is a badass, but this is again, look at her. She's just standing there like, yeah, come at me.
Yep.
And then just like boom.
I'll say one thing for this is a mechanism, and I know people don't like the melee counter.
I love it. I love it.
Well, I was different. I played a little bit of the Metroid Returns on 3DS, and I kind of got the hang of it. But the one thing, it was like the flash. That's the signal that you're supposed to melee was like me trying to meet girls at the bar in university. The signal was there and so obvious, but I missed it all the time.
It's
yeah. So
yeah.
So like I got to the point where I would get to a boss fight and my son would say, "Listen, Dad, this is where you need to melee." and I know it's about to happen, but I started slamming on the button too soon, so premature mailing, I guess.
Yes.
Let's go. This is gonna go down a lot of rabbit holes. I gotta be honest with you. Or too late. Like it was just
Yeah.
the timing was awful. So other than shaky hand,
There was
terrible timing.
there were certain bosses or certain enemies that just the timing was off for me too. So, and there might be a video in here of that too where I might show that, but it's like I can't remember exactly which one it was called, but it was one of the flying ones later on that would flash but wouldn't come at you right away, or it would
Yep.
make a move like it was coming at you, then flash, then come at you. So it was really like as soon as it made a move but it didn't flash, I was like, oh crap, I got a melee, and then it would be too early, and then
Yeah,
so yeah,
premature mailing.
yep.
I think there's a pill for that though.
There might be. All right, so
I
this
mean,
is just more of it, of what she gets from killing this boss and unlocking an ability. Of course, this
yes.
being I think the first one you unlock.
Yep. I mean, there's a lot about this game that, like, in the real world, like, I could absorb this from a strange thing, but like, I feel like I also would get. It sounds like an STD or something like that. I don't know. It's just really awful.
Yes. So again, me and being impressed with the graphics of the game, this was a screenshot I took of her, dying. But
Yeah, I saw that.
just blowing up and just the parts and the particles and the glow and all that stuff between this screenshot and this one before she blows up. So it's this and then you get to this. I just thought it was really cool. So I had to capture that. I just, I saw
Yep.
it. Like you said, I saw it a lot too. So
I mean, I feel like this sounds like a data management sort of thing. I don't know if I got more stabs in the neck or if I got more just running out of health and dying in the explosion. So be interesting to see. There are a lot of both, but it'd be interesting to see where I died more.
right, yeah, that makes sense. So I'm just capturing the elevator again, or in this is the first time I captured it, but again, visually outstanding. I loved it, so I had to capture it.
Yeah. No, the textures, the lighting, it's all really good.
Oh, more of it.
Yeah, we're looking at Samus going through the elevator for those on
And the
audio.
light from the outside going against her, going
Yep.
through the elevator shaft there, so to the next area. And the sparks from the chains.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
What's
That's
that?
pretty cool.
Yeah.
The sparks and everything, yeah. It's pretty cool.
Yep. So let's see what we got next here. Oh, I had to get it going back down apparently.
Well, you had to go back to save exactly where you just saved from because, just in case.
Yes.
Right.
Gotta save. It's like, oh, I made it. I can save it there. Alright, so what did I save this one for? Oh, okay, I saved this because I made a post about this. I was like, that's disgusting. Because the first time I saw that
Worm thing?
The worm thing, just, I was like, I probably would run out of the room screaming.
I mean, let's be honest. If we were in the real world of Metroid,
true, I wouldn't have made it this far, probably.
Yeah, I would have made it past the first one.
Right.
I think Raven would have slaughtered me the first time.
Yeah. All right, so Nefrendo, actually, I came back to catch what he said here. He said back to the explosion where she's dying. Let me get to that because he makes an interesting point. He said during this explosion, I may not have captured it at the point he says this, but he said, I thought the explosion during the death sequence looked a lot like the S on the logo.
A little bit.
So, and I can see, if I were to go back and to see that. Well, of course, like you said, we saw it enough. So I think it's kind of ingrained in my
if you
memory.
go back to if you go back to the previous image, you've got a very curvy Samus. That's all I was thinking.
Oh, yes, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, she's got it all.
Yes.
She's got it all where it counts. I think that's a little bit. That might be crossing the line there.
All right, let's see. So, okay, so this again, a lot of these where I'm capturing is not only because it's a significant point in the game, but also because of the graphics. This is leading to a boss that's in this area, but I don't think I unlocked it just yet. But because you still have to, you can see where the moths are. This is basically that. I didn't learn until later was a sign that is follow this way, a subtle sign.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think I passed this about 5 times before realizing, oh, that's a space to walk through.
Yeah.
Or to fall.
Yep. So I think this is a video of the next. So okay. Oh no, this is another map room video. I'm trying to think of why did I capture this one? Maybe just 'cause I like, you know, watching her stick her arm in there. I don't know.
ME stands for Exoplanetary Multiform Mobile Identifier. It can procedurally modify and enhance its own capabilities.
I mean,
oh, okay. I captured it because of it was what ME stands for, the Extraplanetary Multiform Mobile Identifier.
Yeah, and I think this for someone not familiar with Metroid, one of the challenges has to be like, why do we strip away all these abilities every time she starts a new game? And I think the way they did in this game worked for me anyway.
Yeah, it does, and for me, who played them all, it made sense. This made more sense than some of the other ways they've done it, where it's just like there's a reason why Ravenbeak did it. So, and you build up to find it along the way.
Yeah.
So I captured these because I really like these images, and I've used these as well as backgrounds.
I mean, this one is just like, it reminded me of being in Toronto and riding the subway. Like this, you look over and there's Samus on the Union Station subway train. Like, yep, how's it going?
There you go. Yep, going west.
Commuter Samus.
Yes. And I captured each one too when her suit gets upgraded as well. So we'll see that as we go through the pictures, the different colors as they upgrade.
Right.
All right, so this is one of those areas where I learned that you have to turn the power on, but again, captured it because of the lighting and the interaction with turning on the power. It was awesome too.
Yeah, actually, I think this one she sticks it in really long. I thought,
She's got to get powered up.
She really likes it. She likes putting it in there. I don't know. Oh, God.
Well, you know, this can get it can get really dirty really quick, I'm sure. So
I'm worried it might.
But again, now she's going back east. So, but this I of course had to capture it because now you can see the cannon side of her.
Yeah, this is the community home.
Yep. She did her work. Now it's time to go home. Yep. Oh, me running away from an Emmy. Oh no, it's me with the Omega Cannon. Okay. And this is me looking at the map because you can see the dot down there in the map. Where it's like, okay, she's coming at me. And I found that this one was a good spot to be in. Because you were right at the level to blow up the mask.
Yep.
And then blow it up as soon as it got to that point.
Yeah, because the way you're looking at it, because for those who can't see, there's a
lip there.
There's a lip there, so there's a very small window.
Yes.
And so she's got to look. It has to look through to see you, and you can only shoot it through there. Again, even shaky hand like me probably could have handled that one.
It helped though. This one, I was like, okay, now I just need to look for areas like this when I fight the other enemies coming up. But now all of them had areas like this. I can come to find out. So
I didn't audibly shout a lot during. I don't audibly shout a lot during games, but when I would take 10 times to shoot these things, and then they'll get the kill shot finally, I was like, "Curse, yeah, right."
Yes.
I bleeped that out before you, Tim.
That's okay. We've already, you know, this is already
You're like, Chris, you already swore 4 times.
PG-13, maybe getting close to R there. But here's where I got the morph ball, by the way. So,
yep.
When fighting the green Emmy. And I remember a lot of people talking about this too. It was like they found it very surprising that it took this long to get to the morph ball.
Yeah, because it's usually like the first thing you get, isn't it?
Yeah, if you don't already have it. And I don't remember those kind of details, so I'm not the type of person to remember that. If Ryan was here from Nintendo Nostalgia, I'm sure he would remember better than I would.
I mean, my first experience with Metroid is the original. I think you just drop into it.
Yes.
In the NES version. So yeah. I think I was one of those people who was like,
where's the morph ball?
I really use a friggin' morph ball right now.
Right. I captured this image because of the background again, just showing the robot that was being built in the background. And then you see the blueprints in the, you know, the display blueprints of that robot. But I also was like, again, very curious about the robots being built. Like, is this a robot or is this a suit for the Chozo being built? I'm guessing it's the robot. But I also was like, it kind of reminded me a little bit of the Space Pirates too. So,
for context, where are the Space Pirates from?
Where are the Space Pirates from?
Are Space Pirates from a previous Metroid game?
Oh yes, they're from the first ones. They've been in most of them up to this point until they were eradicated.
I was not aware.
So, yeah, I was thinking maybe we'd see some Space Pirates in here, and I thought that would be kind of cool, but we did not. So, on to the next. Let's see, what's this video about? The map. So there's some of that aiming and moving along their capabilities. More of the moths. Oh, this is what this is. So that's when you hear the first roar of whatever it is you're going to fight later on. I mean, we know what it is because we played it. But yeah, that's why I got this to this point here. So it's basically finally get to this point, roll in, and this is when the first time you hear what you do come to find out to be Kraid, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Kraid. So
I mean, that had to be the first boss where I seriously thought this might be where I stop.
Yep. So, but I thought that was fantastic. Just again, the environment, and this time it was more sound than imagery, where it makes it immersive. Oh, this is the transport image. I got an image of that when you get teleported from when you get your first teleport system. And I just like the visuals of that. Thought that looked pretty cool. And again, I've used it for a background on my phone. all throughout, I would change the, you know, as I got further through the game, I would change it. And here's the video version of that. Hey Caesar joined us. We were just talking about you at the beginning of the show. I thought pretty much you would jump on YouTube there. Thanks for joining us there. And then Friendo says Space Pirates are from Tampa Bay. Yes, that is correct. The Tampa Bay Space Pirates. That's a good one. I like that. All right, so. All right, next scene is, all right, me trying to get through after beating Kraid. think this was after I beat Kraid. And you got to get through this area so that you're not hit by the lava and the fire and you keep getting damaged. So again, the environments was just crazy, and this one was just, you know, bonkers to be able to get through. And I thought I was going to die. As you can see, my health went down pretty quick there. So I had to capture that. At least I caught the end of it once I was in a safe place. That was one of those moments I wish that Nintendo allowed me to capture more than 30 seconds. So, all right, this is an example of the maps. So I think there's a couple other maps I took a picture of. Nope, not yet. So this is where I was in the maps after getting through the hot area that was causing me damage. So once it got destroyed, I couldn't go back through it. And until I get a suit upgraded. And the maps also, I know, was a big touch point for a lot of people. But after getting past that point, I was able to upgrade my suit. And I love the animation for the upgrades. So this is where you get the gold and the yellow. So it doesn't have the blue parts anymore, it's the gold without gold. It's the Vera suit. So good old Vera suit helps with certain environments, right?
Yep.
So, and another image of the Kraid idol, I guess. Oh, the pictures are out of order. Okay, so this is when I had to get back to Kraid, I guess. Or no, I might have... The videos are out of order? See, now I thought I beat Kraid and then had to get through the lava area first. But I guess not. But this is fighting against Kraid. And again, Samus being badass. You alright there, Chris?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm muted there. Sorry.
Oh, there it goes. Your phone was just like sideways. In this
yeah, I'm a little bit. My battery's a little bit low.
Ah, okay. Had to get set up there, huh?
Yeah.
So, all right. Again, this is that scene where you're getting ready to fight Kraid, and of course you're a badass. And this was actually in the video as well. So a lot of people are disappointed this was, shown and nobody was surprised when you got to play it. But I didn't care. I was happy to see Kraid. And I was hoping that we would see other people that weren't or other baddies in here that we didn't see in the trailer that we ended up not seeing, but we did get other surprises.
I mean, when I think about how much game is still out after this part,
yes, yep,
I wasn't disappointed at all.
right.
Although
Yep.
I don't have the connection to Kraid, so
Right. So I guess. Oh, here we go. Some more badass moments. And gross moments. You see how she just kind of like dodged and moved out of the way sideways?
yeah, it's sort of like the moment in the movie where the action star turns away from the explosion and walks away slowly.
Yeah.
I think I played through Super Metroid with Dan from the Retro Logic show.
Okay.
And so that's the only other Metroid character that I had really had any exposure with. And I was thinking like, oh yeah, that's who that was. And now look how they've translated that from SNES to Switch was pretty remarkable.
Yes.
Also, the thing that really frustrates me was, I think it was the second stage of that fight. She shoots out these purple balls, I guess, from her stomach. And that had to kill me at least 20 times.
Oh, yeah, Yeah, because you got to get the pattern down and get an idea of what you're doing and stuff like that. Well, actually, Nintendo called it the belly button lint of doom.
Oh well, yeah, I had a worse name for it, but that sounds like it works.
That works better, right?
Yeah,
And then where were you? Did you hear that you there's another way to beat Kraid? Did you find that out?
I did watch a video,
Yep.
and again, it was more about the melee stuff that I wasn't any good at.
Okay. Yeah, and I was like, I already beat Kraid, so I didn't know about this until after that, and I was like, I didn't know you could, if you were able to get the bombs, be able to blow it up in the
Oh
wall, and you could actually roll in and get shot into the belly button, and then drop a bunch of bombs in there and kill Kraid that way.
no, my son did mention that, but then
Okay.
I totally ignored him. I
Yeah.
guess I did when I get to that point, I just like, oh yeah, I think he after the fact, I think yeah, he said something about this,
Yeah.
and it didn't bother.
Right. Same here. All right, so these are different maps that I took pictures of, and I wanted to mention about. I heard a lot of people complain about the maps. Uh, what did you think of the maps in regards to how they were laid out? Did they help you when you played it understand where you needed to go? Did you feel um, if you got
I
lost,
mean,
were you able to get back on track with the maps, or what do you think?
I think just like the obsessive compulsive saving, I would like check the map, go look, wait, check the map again, and so I found myself like constantly going back. I was like the opposite of any other dad who was like, I'm looking for directions. I would look at the map all the time.
Yeah.
And I found it was pretty intuitive to get around, except the map got thrown out when there was, the murder bot chasing me.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Although I used it a lot when the murder bot was chasing you, when because I would go into an area and try to get as much of the map as I could and run back out before the murder bot came after me. So I could, and then if I could, like you said, run back to a safe spot so I could save it. But you actually, even if you died, it would save to that point when you came through the doorway. So I was trying to get as much so I could see and then try to map out a way for me to run, or to get to point A to point B to get through that area before the enemy got to me. So,
I'll be honest, a lot of the times I survived by the skin of my teeth, and then went back and looked at the map and said, this would have been a whole lot easier if I just did that. If I
mm,
just went there instead I panicked, did something stupid, which is a good life lesson. Anytime you're panicking and you need to make a quick decision, you're probably gonna do something stupid, and in retrospect, you're gonna go back and think, man, it would have been so much easier if I just did the other thing.
yes. A couple comments. You got Hambone Johnny joining us in the chat. Hey, what's up, Johnny? And then Ninfrendo also says the maps were way more helpful than prior games. So
I mean,
for me, playing prior games, I liked the more details in this map. So it's like it starts off blocky and like the older games, or even like Fusion, where you get the blocks and then all you're doing is just they light up when you get to them. Where here you get more details once you get into them. So, and I like that, and I like the markers too. I use the markers a lot. Did you end up using any markers?
so I forgot how to do them, but then I also remember listening to you guys talk about this on the podcast, or actually, I think it was Dan talk about this and said there was some kind of glitch in the game that it broke the game, but you use markers.
Yeah.
So
If
I
you
think I
went through a
avoided
doorway, I think
doing,
it was. Yeah.
I think I avoided doing it. I just didn't, and I wasn't sure that wouldn't help or not, but I didn't. I guess I didn't get around to it. I would just get in a roll in this game and like get 3 or 4 items in a row, be content, and then save 6 times and then stop for the day.
Right. Yeah. Let's see. They show where you've been and flash when there is a hidden item. Yeah, the maps do that as well. So Nefrendo again, and I appreciated that about the maps when it flashed.
I mean, I just learned that tonight now, and I'm kind of angry that it took me till I was done the game to like,
Yep.
oh, I didn't look for the flash, but I didn't.
Yes. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. that part of the maps. I was not as angry about the maps or at all angry at the maps the way some people were.
I mean, I tried to have a conversation with my son. It sounded old, grumpy old man where I tried to tell him that, I think Jesse was explaining playing the original Metroid. He had to
You draw your own maps.
draw it with grid paper. I said,
Mhm.
be lucky you have these maps because in the past people drew them
Yep.
to know where they were going. And he just gave me that,
There goes Dad talking
yeah,
about walking
all
uphill
right,
both
old man.
ways to school.
All right, old man. Yeah, uphill both ways with no shoes on.
Right,
Whatever.
exactly.
Thanks, but no thanks.
Yep. All right, let's see what we got here.
That little detail, those little, I don't know, insects, whatever you call it, but
Yeah.
like fireflies, I guess. That's a pretty cool
Yes.
graphic thing that they've added.
That was just a clip I had done so I could post it, I think. And so here's those moths again. I'm just calling
Yep.
them moths because they're around the light. But again, it's trying to guide you. Yeah, you're on the right path. And I didn't know about it until I think Marty brought it up on the show one time. So I was like, oh, interesting.
I clearly don't pay enough attention to the show then.
Here's another background thing where I saw the silhouette of a creature in a tube in the background. Like, what is that? Is that gonna break out and come attack me? Or is it, I was trying to remember, did I see this before in a previous game? It kind of reminded me of something I fought in Prime, but I can't remember. I can't put my finger on it. Hambone Johnny says the butterflies were a lifesaver for him.
I mean, where's Hambo Johnny right now? I mean, he can always jump in on here if he wants.
Maybe he didn't. I don't know. Welcome to Jump In, Hambone.
Yeah.
You know where to find us. I know Nefrendo tried to join us, but I don't know if he was having audio issues or something. So, all right, more lighting effects again. The power needed to come on in this area, but this is again a water area too, where you can see a lot of the water things going on in the background. Now that being said, I'm sure we're gonna get some more water area clips that I took. This game was one of the more fun water areas that I've played in than say other games where you're in a water area.
Why is it more fun?
I enjoyed it a lot better than say other ones because I felt like I could get it was it's still slow motion until you get the right suit to go through
Right.
it, but I still enjoyed it. It wasn't too much of it to be like annoying to me. Because there's not everything was just swimming all the time or running slow all the time. So
I mean, I think the water becomes painfully slow when you're the purple Abby who's can see you through walls or something like that.
yeah, or
And
I think it was
yeah,
was the purple one that could see you, or was it the one, or was that the one where they could shoot you through the walls?
both I think
Both.
because it
Okay.
shot the purple whatever freeze ray or whatever.
Okay.
But I know that you jump into some water and you're thinking like, faster, damn it!
Yeah.
Like this thing is gonna
You're
kill
like,
you.
oh no. Yeah,
Another
but those
Tony
points
Guest,
is that was when you used a lot more of the phantom suit to hide. Or yeah, it's basically you were hiding using the phantom suit.
I don't know if this was a confidence thing, but I always found like the Phantom suit. I turned it on too late to the point where I would turn it on, and my son was like, "It's too late, Dad. He knows where you are." And
Oh yeah.
stabbed, and then again, that was the other thing where that mechanic, and I thought it worked for all of them. If you timed it properly, you hit it in the head, it stunned it for a few minutes, a few seconds,
Yeah.
and you could get away. But always me panicky, mashing the button, and then nope, stab
Yeah.
the neck.
Yep. But if it didn't it feel good when you did your first get away from the Emmy? Did you do that yet?
I didn't have time to celebrate it because I was like, yeah, no, this
You
murder
had to
bot's
run away.
like just get the hell away from it.
Yeah.
I'll celebrate it when I'm not dead. Like
Right.
that's, and there was one time where it literally was against the wall, or I think the way it would crouch was I stunned it, but then I couldn't jump. I didn't have room to jump over it. I didn't have enough room to slide under it. I was literally just stuck there,
And
like
just
waiting
like,
for it to
I
come
can't
back
get away.
to kill me again.
Yeah.
That I think I might have even done that twice, but stuck in the same position where I couldn't get away. Like, all right, fine, this isn't happening. Just just get over it. Stab you in the neck and let's move on.
Yeah. And then Friendo also said, agreed that Emmy in the water was painfully slow. I couldn't get to the gate fast enough, or the Emmy was too close. So,
And I think my Noah gave me the best advice. I think in this game is like when you think you're stuck, backtrack as much as you can, because like you get a new ability, and now parts of the game are open that you didn't have before, and you can either get new abilities, you can level up. So I would get stuck, and it's the same thing when with a boss. If I tried several times, there's only a few times in the game where you're like, I'm in the boss fight now. I either fight this thing or I turn it off and I come back and fight later because you can't really backtrack. Like there's places, and I think I'll blank on the names, but like I'm I'm in this boss area. There's no other way out except to beat it and move on. And those were the times where like, all right, save, do my obsessive compulsive saving, and then put it down for the night, and then try again tomorrow.
right. Yes. Plenty of those. All right, so this environment I saved this one because it was something in the background type of thing, and this is actually something moving, which I just was like, as soon as it happened, it was over. I was like, I have to save this. 30 seconds, So I was glad I caught it. It was like I was moving, and then I moved up, and right there in the lower right corner there, that gate there.
Yep.
Like, what is that? Is it coming out of there to come and attack me? And that's why I stood there just like waiting, but nothing happened. But it was like so cool to see that again, the interaction with the environments, things
Yeah.
coming in or out of the background. So
There's one large room, and I don't really think there's anything in it, but there is a definite background where there's something going on, kind of a surgical thing going on in the background. I hope you saved.
we'll see
That was
that.
really cool.
Yeah, we'll see that momentarily. So let's see. Oh yeah, I clipped the shorter, so it's just another one of the same thing. Because I posted that one online. Alright, so what's going on with this one? There's those butterflies again. Like, hey, you need to be over here.
And you're swiping at them.
See? It conveniently tells me what to do. Bombs acquired!
So the first Super Mario is famous for having the mushroom come out, and the only way it comes out to the right, and then hits something and comes back to you, telling you like this is a mechanic you need to know for the entire game, and you need to learn this, and that those are good. Like, how do you know when you approach those statues that like, oh, like how do I unlock the item? Or is that just intuitive now for people playing Metroid?
Well, I think it's intuitive even if you haven't played it before, because it's like, okay, here's a statue, it's holding something, let me walk up to it, what do I do with it? And either you walk up to it and get close enough to touch it, or you're like, okay, what's this? And you just try to jump on it because you might have heard or know Metroid games are exploratory. So you're just jumping all over to figure things out, and then you're like kind of stumble upon it. I think it is intuitive though. But it's been so long since I've stumbled upon a statue, so I can't say for certain for myself.
I can't remember playing the first one. I felt like, oh yeah, I should shoot that to open it up, but I don't remember.
Yeah, I'm thinking if I remember correctly, it was more. I think it was just like when I played Prime, because I think that's where. Because I don't think I even got to a statue when I tried Metroid for the first time. It was just like tried Metroid, got moved around, and it was like, oh, this is interesting, and then stopped playing it. It wasn't until Metroid Prime and Fusion that it was like, okay, I love these games. I need to go play the other ones. So, but Metroid Prime, I think, was the first one, and just in a 3D environment, getting up to those points, it was just like I think it was intuitive just to see, okay, I made it to this. There's some visual cues or maybe even audio cues. It was just like, okay, I need to do something here, probably with what the statue is holding.
I mean, I always go back to like Ocarina of Time, where uh, the mechanic it's the Navi fairy, and it's literally like, hey,
Yeah.
listen,
Right.
this is what you're supposed to do. Like they really hit you on the head, but
Right.
you need to learn how to use X item
Right.
and do it now, sort of thing.
So speaking of the surgery thing you were talking about just a moment ago, here we go. There's this
Yep.
I came to this room and I was like, what the heck is being poked at here? And I was I didn't want to move because I didn't know if it was going to jump out, cuz when you get in this room, there's no enemies in here.
Yep.
Except this is the only thing you see, and it's a big empty room, and you're just like, if I go across here, is this thing going to wake up and come at me? It
Yeah,
didn't.
and it's being worked. Whatever they're doing to it, it's freaking me out. And
Yeah, and it's moving, it's twitching every time it gets shocked or whatever it's going on
yeah,
there.
and I think it actually freaked me out more when I came back to the room and it wasn't there, but I hadn't
Yes.
seen it yet.
Yes. And
And
that
like,
I have a picture of
Noah's
that
like,
later too.
yeah, and the nose like, oh, that's coming after you. I'm like, oh, awesome.
Yes.
That's
Yep.
how huge.
And then Friendo says thought that thing in the background was going to grab me. And that's exactly what I was saying. Either it was going to grab me or it was going to come at me or it was going to be what I was going to fight in this room. But it didn't yet.
I mean, I kind of had the feeling like, wait a minute, there's a lot going on there
Yes.
that somebody's sedating or stopping this thing from going full murder bot, whatever.
Right. Right. It's again amazing what they did with the game to get you to. So here, actually, I got the video of it. Cool. I wasn't sure. Couldn't remember if I got it, but you can see the twitching.
It looks kind of comatose.
And me sitting here like, what's gonna happen here? Just
yeah.
I'm like, what do I do?
I mean, the only thing is like it's twitchy, like it's under, like it's someone's sedated it, and
Yes.
it's like, okay, so that thing's not totally with it right now, and also probably gonna be really pissed when it wakes up.
Right. Again, I'm just laughing because I'm like, I just stuttering through this whole stage.
Oh, for sure. And it's like you said, there's nothing there, and you're like, do I just walk?
Yeah, should I walk across? Is something gonna happen? Like Friendo said,
Is
it
there
gonna
a
grab
way
me?
I can save 10 times before I walk across the room?
Yes, exactly. Here's some more environment things in the background. I was like, what is that in the tubes in the background? Should I know what those are, or should I be aware of what's gonna happen? Are they gonna pop out of those tubes? So they didn't. But it was still more again, just
It didn't.
It didn't.
It didn't.
So again, just me being in awe of the graphics of the game, just saving this,
No, they're
the rings.
It's fun. Oh, this
See, it
one,
almost got me.
Yeah, this one
was fast.
One is like super fast. Yeah, so this one,
Just
this
going-
one was probably one of the more prolific Chris murderers.
Yes. Oh, this is the first time I got away from it. That's
yeah.
right. And two, I was like, oh crap! I was supposed to go
You
through the
get the
door.
back. Yeah, and you're like, oh come on.
I thought it was still going to be locked, so I was just like,
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Anytime murder bot's right behind me, I don't know why I keep calling it murder bot. Anytime
The
murder bot's
Emmys.
right behind me, and I find the Emmy door, I'm
Yep.
like, oh god, I'm alive.
well, the thing was, I think this is the first time too. I was like, oh crap! I can't get through the door because it was too close. And then to be able to make it, this was also the first time I think I got it away from it.
Too.
And I was just like, I didn't know that was gonna unlock when I stunned it. So that's why I was running away. And I was like,
just realized that. Holy crap.
as soon as
Okay,
I ran away, it
crap.
unlocked. I was like, crap, it unlocked. And it was like too late to go back because it woke up.
If I just turned around.
Yes. I could have just turned around and walked out the door.
Oh man.
So
That would be frustrating as hell.
So again, a shot of one of the trains
Yep.
So
I mean, there's I don't remember which train it is that is always in the rain. The train in the rain. I love the ride. But yeah, those visuals were terrific with
yes,
the textures of the rain and everything in the background.
yes. More background shots, like the water in the background with some of the creatures in the water. And I think I got a video of one coming at you at the window. This
I
is me.
think.
This is me trying to get the energy shield. Like,
Yep.
is there a way to get this? What the heck am I supposed to do here? You have to get.
I
the
think
speed
I remembered.
boost.
I think I remembered the speed boost from a different game. So I thought, yeah, I'm not going to sit here running like a moron. Not shouldn't say that because. But yeah,
I
like
figured I'd try.
I'm not going to sit here
There it
running
is.
all night.
That was that fish
And,
trying to.
yeah, and you know what? Going back to that, I don't remember the bosses that is sitting there being worked on, but a lot of the times when you're underwater, I'm going through like I think that fish is about to eat me,
Yeah.
but then it's just in the background, and like, wow, that really should have ate me. Of course, there's also the whale,
The whale.
flying
That was
whale,
crazy. Yes.
right? And then if it gets underneath you, it's sort of like Space Invaders,
Yeah.
where it's trying to suck you up, I guess, or kill you anyway.
Yep. Just another graphic of Samus looking badass in her suit, of course. This is the gold one with the gold line instead of the blue lines.
Yeah, it's sort of like
Here's the
Iron
ring.
Man suits. It's like watching the Iron Man suits from Iron Man 1
Yes.
to Endgame.
Before this game came out, there was actually an artist who did a shirt showing Samus and her different versions of the suit. And my wife showed it to me recently, and I was like, that artist needs to do an updated one with the new, suits from Dread. So, but it was basically the same style as Iron Man and his suits in his chambers, but Samus with all her suits
Right.
up too. So, let me see. Nintendo says, "How much time did you waste on the train platform searching for some item?" I won't say I searched for an item, but I wasted plenty of time on the train platforms filling in the space on the map.
Yeah, yeah. I think the obsessive compulsiveness came there too when it was like
Yes.
I haven't literally traveled on that part of the map, so there must be something there. And so when I'm doing this, my son's like, "Dad, it's not flashing white. It doesn't matter."
Yeah.
No, but I need to cover all the map.
Right. It's got to be filled
Like,
in.
I
It's got
don't
to paint it.
forever. I have to paint the map. Yeah.
Yep. That's what Eric on All In podcast would say. He asked me because it took me so long to beat the game. He's like, "Did you paint everything?" I was like, "No." Unfortunately, that's not the reason why it took me so long to beat the game.
So what's a long time though?
It took me, if I remember correctly, it was 16 hours.
Oh, good. I think I still got you then by
Yeah.
3 hours.
Yep.
Wow.
It's just because of the way I explore in the game. I take my time with it, and also because I tell people I am not a good gamer.
Oh, there's nothing against it. I think most people were in the 70 hours, weren't they? Or is that me hearing something wrong?
70? No, nobody had
7
70.
or 8. Not
Oh,
7.
7 to 8. Yeah, it would be. I would say 7 to 9, somewhere in there. Yeah.
Okay. So we're about 6 to 9 hours, 3 to 6 hours longer then, because I'm at 13, I think.
Okay. Yeah, mine again. Yeah, 16 hours. Because and also too, it came down to where it was like I'm gonna try to get 100% before I get to the boss, and then it was like at some point during the game I was just like, screw it, I just want to get to the boss.
Right.
So, Hambone says I love the original suit in blue at the start of the Dread. So his favorite has the blue highlights to it, which is it's definitely a looker. I like the blue. All right, let's see what the next video is here. Again, this is just me showing off, I think, the rain in the background to the graphics, the details in the background, essentially. Just magnificent.
I mean, I did that a lot when you were doing that video, shooting through things to try and kill enemies.
Yes, yeah. And I love the music in this particular in the water environment too. It's just it was very calming, even if the game wasn't so calming. It was just definitely you knew you were in a water level essentially.
Well, the enemy zone music doesn't help ease any
No,
anxiety when
that
I'm.
part, no, no,
Yeah, no.
definitely. So this is where I got the flash shift. And these I liked. It was like you just walked up to the statue, you got it. And I can't remember if this was the first one it came where it was like that. I think there might have been one before that, but it was basically when you walked to the statue and it was there, I was like, okay, what's coming out at me? Is the statue gonna come at me? You know, it was like I didn't want to walk up to it because I thought I was like, what do I need to prepare for here? But it was
I
just
mean, let's
like,
be honest.
no, here it is. You get to have it without any fighting.
If people are listening to this, they think we must never leave our houses because, like, you walk. Like, I honestly don't walk out on the street thinking like something's gonna jump out and kill me. But
No,
I
when
do
you
get
play a
disappointed
Metroid game,
when
you
you
think
play a
that
Metroid
way.
game. Yeah. Yeah. So yes, I don't do this in my regular life.
So, all right, this is where I acquire it, the flash dodge thing.
Yeah, I was pretty convinced this thing was about to kill me too,
Yeah,
because whatever that is, that looks like it could mess me up.
right. Flash shift. I keep calling it flash dodge. Flash shift. I like flash shift better. Of course, if you say it too quickly, it could sound like flash shit.
I mean, yeah.
All right, so here's the train ride again with the upgraded suit with the gold lines. So I had to get shots of that, of course. Oh, I actually got a video of me fighting one of the brains to get the Omega weapon.
So this was called the Central Unit, right?
Yes.
And is this is new to the game?
It looks a lot like Mother Brain essentially.
Okay.
But there's a story behind Mother Brain that I'm not 100% clear on. That it's essentially Mother Brain was basically created to help the Federation force, the Federation to you know do things in outer space. I guess I don't know. It was built
Right.
as an AI, but and all that kind of stuff. So and it just got corrupted or whatever. So and these are just more of that.
I'm kind of glad that these parts were more difficult.
Yes. These were pretty basic. They didn't gradually get harder. It was just basically get through it,
Yeah.
get the
They might have
Omega
got a little
cannon.
bit harder. They might have a little bit harder with some more projectiles and stuff, but not too difficult.
Right. It was the Emmys that got harder though too.
Yes.
Oh, this is when I got the speed boost. I was like, okay, yeah, this is where I watched the video for the speed boost and then doing it myself.
Now I saw a YouTube video, and I think Sean Abbott shared it with me on Discord.
Yes. How to do
People
it in
would-
small spaces, right?
Yeah, and I, for the life of me, can't do that.
Yeah. After beating the game, I was going through and trying to collect the items that I missed after beating the game so I can get 100% and get some of the images that I didn't get when I beat the boss. And there was one item, I can't remember what it was, but I had to do the short space jumps. And it took so many, tries to get it that it was like I was done. It was like I mean, I'll go back and do it again, but I mean that day I was just like, okay, I got that one thing. I'm done now. I'm gonna go play something else because it was so many trial and errors to try to get that small space speed run and jump. And then there was another one where I had to go where you had to run, build up your speed and then bounce around without losing that ability, the spark.
Yep.
And get to the point where then you could run through or break through what you needed to. And I had to do that a bunch of times. And then once I got that, it was crazy. So
Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm trying to power up or level up for the final boss, and I get to one of these places, and Noah sees me doing it. He says, Yeah, Dad, that's not worth it. I can't do that. Like, oh, it took me 20 minutes to get here.
Yeah.
You're killing me.
You mean Noah didn't even want to try it?
He
Mr.
didn't know.
Mr. Fancy Pants there?
He's fancy pants in that one, but there was a couple of ones, and I think that short speed burst one was one that he just didn't figure out.
Tell Noah I'm disappointed.
I'll tell him Sam did it, and then he'll get angry and try it again.
Okay. That's true. That's true. His nemesis.
Yeah.
All right. Ninfrendo says that it's the Matrix. Let's see, that must have been Matrix. Not that one. It must have been that, or in regards to this, because Hambone also said some of these speed boost sections were brutal. And Friendo said brains remind me of the original game with the onion rings. And that's the mother brain fight.
Oh, the onion rings.
Yeah, because it did the same thing. Like you got the rings
Okay.
here.
Yeah. Well, like, they didn't look that.
Yeah, see those rings that are flying out? He's calling those onion rings. They Mother Brain had those too, the same rings. They didn't look as fancy as this, obviously. They were more 8-bit rings, but
yeah, I mean, there's more. I don't think there's any of those projectiles in the first one, and they progressively get more lasers, more onion rings.
Yeah.
As you move along, but it's still not unbeatable.
Right.
I think the thing that really bothered me the most were the pitfall blocks.
Oh yeah, I hate those in any of the Metroid games because they're there. You just like, oh look, there's an item there. Oh, I just fell down and I can't get back there.
Yeah.
Or it's a long roundabout way to get back to it.
Right. I don't know if this was the real way you should get around it, but I kind of figured out a way with the cross bomb that if I timed it perfectly, I would detonate the cross bomb and ride the momentum of it.
Yeah, and I think that's the point of those two in those situations.
Yeah. Well, not easy though.
No, it's not.
Because also, still timing is off.
All right, yeah, so I came back to the energy thing and was like, I got my speed boost. I can get it now.
And there's a couple of different ones, like, so there's the energy tank that gives you 100, but then there's also energy parts, and if you collect 4 of them.
Yes, that was one that one there. I collect the 4th of 4 on that particular one. So.
And some of them had missiles and energy together? Or is that me just not remembering it correctly?
No, I don't think there were any combination ones. It was either or.
Okay.
I could be wrong too from memory, but I could have swore it was either or. Oh, I have the grapple hook. That's right. That's just me showing that off.
That was another one that I was like, oh, I can really use a grapple hook right now.
Yes. Yes, for sure. Another elevator scene. I had to get the elevator scene with the gold suit now. So.
I mean, one of the things and this is probably common knowledge for most Metroid people, but and I shouldn't call them Metroid people, but is to kind of go with the game. Like, I know the game is open world and you're supposed to explore and everything, but if you kind of go it where it's encouraging you to go, like you travel from one place and back and forth, not knowing that like you'll end up in a different part of that map where you hadn't been before, or maybe couldn't get to, but didn't realize you had to travel somewhere else to come back.
Yeah.
And I found that like if I kind of don't fight it so much and I guess go with the flow, I was making more progress.
Yeah. And I think there was a couple times when I was playing the game that I knew I had to go one direction, but I was like, but there was something I saw over here that I want to get now that I have this ability. So let me go back there, and then I would get off course, and of course it would take a little bit longer. That would add to that 16 hours that it took me
Yeah,
to get through the game.
and I
But
had to save 3 times to make sure that it took.
yes, yes. Let's see. Ninfrendo asks, is it me or was the button combo for the grapple awkward?
No, I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, it got awkward when you had the storm missiles. Yeah, I'll say that.
Okay. I did. For me, it's again. I don't know if it's just getting older or whatever. My muscle memory for a lot of things takes some getting used to. Even when playing it enough, in the panic of the moment, some things weren't as intuitive or quick to do as others. And I would say grapple wasn't as quick to do in certain intense situations as it other things to do, like slide or flash, even though I always forgot about flash.
So there's a perfect example because there's a Chozo soldier, and I think it might be the last one you fight that
Okay.
has the shield that. I mean, the previous ones you could missile it and the shield would explode, and then you're sort of free to have at it. This one,
Yeah.
Noah kind of prepped me for. He said, no, this one is different. You have to melee, and then there's a spot on it where you can grapple and take it away. So right there, 2 things I'm terrible at: melee at the right time, and then aiming the grapple right in that small window
Yes.
in a very short amount of time to pull it away. So there was like, no, I'm not even going to do that. I'll just jump on the other side and shoot around it. It
Yeah.
might take twice as long to do that with like let him have his shield and fight him still, but the combination of those 2 things
Yeah.
wasn't going to happen for me.
That makes sense. All right, so this is a significant point in the story. So I will say this again. I warned at the beginning, and I right now I can't tell how many people are on YouTube, but I can tell on Twitch there's 3 viewers. If you haven't gotten to this point yet in Metroid, you're not going to want to see it because it'll be a spoiler. I warned you. I warned you at the beginning. This is a spoiler cast, so it's probably why we only have 3 people watching on
There's
Twitch.
2 points. There's 2 points of the game where I like catch my breath,
Yes.
and one was like they've shut the murder bots off, and
Yes.
hey, I think I've killed all the murder bots. So this was like the first
Yes.
audible. Okay, I can kind of relax because there won't be an insta kill murder bot after me for a
Right.
while. And even even Samus is like, what the hell? This thing is supposed to have stabbed me in the neck by now.
Right. Like, what's going on? And then just like, this is how I felt. Like, oh.
Oh, okay.
I can relax now.
Now, not knowing who this was, I was just like, oh, I guess not trying to kill me.
Yep. It's cinematic.
So, yeah.
All right, so I did not record the cinematic piece where you're talking to what's his name, Robe something or something Robe.
Yeah.
And he gets killed by this warrior Chozo. And the part I'm upset about that I missed was Samus talking, because Samus talked at right before he died, basically, because Fancy Robe, I'll call him, because I can't think of his name right now. Fancy Robe basically was like, you're here because of Ravenbeak. This is what Ravenbeak's all about. This is what you need to do. And Samus was like, basically, after that long speech, she talks. And again, she's a badass. And so she's just like, I'll take care of you, essentially. I got you back. And then he's like, thank you. And then dies. So, yeah, Hambo says that part was cool. And Infrendo, thank you very much. Quiet Robe. I like Fancy Robe,
I
but
think Fancy Robe sounds better.
Quiet Robe was it. Yes, Quiet Robe. Snazzy Robe. Bones. Johnny says Snazzy Robe is good. So, and then Ninfrendo says there's a purple Emmy. He's joking. Yeah. So,
Yep.
so, but yes, this is me fighting that robot or that Chozo warrior that killed Quiet Robe, and I died.
Boom.
So one of many game overs that I had experienced, but it was like I had to show that. So
I mean, I guess to the game's credit, after the game over, it doesn't like put you too far back from where you were.
yeah.
Right.
Yep. So all right. So Nefrendo says her Chozo was passable, but her lisps threw me off. All right, Nefrendo. All right. So here we go. What's this one? All right. So me fighting again with this guy, getting an understanding of what to do here. I think.
I think I reached out to you at one point on Discord and said, "Man, there's two of them, and I don't know what to do." And you're like, "Hey, worst part is, you fight them again." And you're like,
Is this the first time or the second set?
I was like, "Oh God, why? There's more."
Yes, because there's different patterns, so that's why I was trying to
Right,
figure
yeah.
out. But I'm glad the thing that I found for you helped.
And it got to be a little bit. Once you figure out the Chozo soldiers, I think it's not too bad. But yeah, not if you don't know, you're gonna be pounding your head against the wall.
Yes. So I think that was just me showing off, like, hey, I figured out what to do to get that energy tank. And that was like what you said earlier about the 1 of 4 energy things to build up. One of many ways to get an item in an area. Oh, I hate those things.
I think the nicest thing Noah said about me playing this game was, "Man, you can really rapid fire." And I said, I think that's a compliment.
Yeah, we know how to button mash for sure.
We would button mash.
We grew up on button mashing.
Right? So that helped.
Oh yeah, this is like, okay, this part opened up. I was able to get through it because Quiet Robe opened it up for me. And then, again, saving. In the important save. And then I saved it because I ran in, was like, oh, okay, nope. Ran back out because I was like, okay, I need to get ready to fight this thing. Then came back in. I know what to do now.
Yeah, and I think that was one of the frustrating parts about it was Noah just kept telling me, "Dad, you'll get so much more stuff if you melee counter."
Yeah.
Said, yeah, but my timing is awful and I'll die 5 times trying to do that.
Melee
but
is very important.
Just look for the spot. Like, listen, it's not working.
Right.
Again, the signals thing wasn't my forte.
Alright, so another elevator thing. Let me fast forward to this. Is it just the elevator? Oh, okay. So here I made it to Gavaran. And again, showing off some of the background there.
I mean, I felt like Justin listening to the Pokemon Minute because a lot of these places, the names were just Gavaran. Sure, that sounds probably what it is.
I'm gonna go with that. Gavaran.
Yeah.
I'm bad at pronouncing stuff anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's a Pokemon name that I wouldn't have got anyway.
All right, let's see now.
Like, I think Elon was like something I bought at IKEA 2 years ago, right? Like,
right. Yes.
I'm not trying to make light of the game because they're names, and there's people I know people in the industry who write stories for this stuff. It's got to be incredibly difficult to make it sound not ridiculous, I guess.
Right.
But I'm not creative enough, I think, to do something like that.
Oh, more background stuff. So I got past that point, and this is where we start seeing the X-Parasite too, because I entered in the section of the game where you're going into the temple where the X-Parasites are locked away. So, again, you were led here because of you knew there was X-Parasites, or at least you were led to believe there was X-Parasites here, and then you find them. And then I don't know if I capture it later or not, but then they end up getting released on this whole planet. So,
I mean, listen, thinking back now, and we'll talk about it later. The X parasites getting out and basically infecting everybody as you learn started making me think now that like something is up. Something might not be all that it seems.
oh yeah. Like there was something is making this happen.
Yeah.
So,
And
plasma
somebody's
beam.
manipulating. Something's manipulating something here.
Right. What is going on? What's the bigger story? And I think too, because of her dealings with the Federation, I think I heard somebody say this before, that she was set up to die by the Federation or something like that, or they were trying to get rid of her, or somebody in the Federation was trying to get rid of her. And for me personally, I thought Ravenbeak was a Chozo that was infected by the parasite, the X parasite. But we come to find out that wasn't the case. Not until later. So, all right. So me trying to blast things through the wall like we were talking about, so I don't have to get any closer to it.
Right.
And of course, the X parasite be getting absorbed just like she did in Fusion, because she's part Metroid. Screenshot of the environment. Okay, so this is again all the details in the environment here, just from the temple, the Chozo Warrior Temple, things. I might have a video of something showing collapsing because of the decay, and then also the what the parasites do to this portal to get through. Right, it's basically saw all this black webbing in a way around it, and you have to beat that in order to open up that door.
Like that's a mechanic that's early on in the game where the door comes out. I guess the door extends out to fight you, and you have to kill it to get in, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So this here is like, I think this might be the one where I encounter its parasite form for the first time and die. But again, it was just like one of many battles to get used to its pattern.
Well, and this one got me really frustrated because the parasite opens its face up like that.
Yes.
And then it jumps onto the wall on the side and spews the black goo at you.
Yeah.
And there was times where I thought, okay, so there's no way to dodge this. And I eventually figured out a little bit by moving, by just keeping in motion, I guess. But yeah. I did that a lot.
Yep. I missed it.
Timing. And what we're saying is that you missed the melee spot and it pushes you back.
Yes. And I was like, okay, so there's there. Oh, and I was like, oh, there's a second time.
Yeah.
And then again, badass.
That has to be one of the most satisfying points of the game when you're like, I'm going to pop this. I want to use another curse there, but MFers that
yes, die.
Like, this thing has killed me 10 times.
Mother effer, die.
Bring your head off. Right, exactly.
Look at that. I mean, just again.
And it's kind of cool that it's about a 5-second cinematic where she pries the thing's mouth open. And
right.
Like, boom. Get out.
Exactly. It's just like so, like you said, so satisfying.
Oh yeah. Audibly cheered a couple of times, and my wife's looking at me like, it's a game, Like, no, it's not, because it's killed me 20 times.
So All In Podcast, I'm guessing, is Seth, maybe Eric, I don't know, but I'm guessing it's Seth, is in there and said and shouted, "Is Tim not wearing a hat?" No, I'm not wearing a hat.
I got
Today,
the hack game for you, Seth,
yeah,
or um,
Seth or
yeah,
Eric.
Eric. There you go.
One of those two guys.
I got the hack quota for today.
Yes. All right, so let's see now. Next video. All right, so I just beat the Chozo X Parasite thing. Let's see, why did I record this one? Oh yeah, there's the stuff falling. That's why. Just the decay of everything falling down there.
Mm.
So, just again, the background environments in this game, just the immersiveness of it all. More background. So did you see the plant close up there? The lower right corner there.
Yep.
Just again, background stuff.
I mean, that's another thing that this is about to murder you, though, isn't it?
It's a what?
It's closing up, and like if I walk around the corner, it's about to murder you.
Oh, that's what I thought, but it doesn't do anything
Oh
to
no.
you.
Okay.
That's just me trying to figure out what's going to happen next. Oh yeah, this again. That thing, Chozo Warrior, in the foreground,
Yeah.
right
That's
there, cool. And then it just jumps right into the game plane.
I mean, there were a couple of times you would come out of a boss fight, and you would have the screen would go to black, and there's a pause there, like, oh crap, what else is going to come kill me? I just fought it already.
Right?
Like, give me a break to breathe, or for the love of God, let me save. Because you know how friggin' obsessive compulsive, like, I need to save right now.
Yes.
Somebody save. And so, yeah, like, anytime we turn to black, I'm like, oh God,
Yeah.
I'm about to be murdered by something.
Yes, exactly. Sorry, I got distracted by the chat because they're going on about my hat being not here. So I guess they're saying it is Seth, and it's a rare treat, I guess, that I'm not wearing my hat. And
I mean, it's kind of your thing, Tim. You're the
I
hat
know
guy.
that I am the hat guy. It's just today was one of those days I didn't wear a hat, so you guys got to catch me without a hat today. And he said it's like hatless Mario. And then he also said, "Love that foreground Chozo jumping in." And by the way, the game got snubbed for an audio design game award nomination. Just saying, that's a good point. So the Game Awards were announced, the nominations were announced, and Metroid Dread is on the Game of the Year nomination list, but it is not on the Audio Design Game Award nomination list. So that's a good point. I didn't even think of that. But I will say this, in my opinion, I don't know about you, Chris, because you did say you played it a little bit. I liked Mercury Steam's Samus Returns audio better than this game. Better than the audio in this game.
I can't remember it to say enough.
So, and it may be because of it was so memorable because they also put it in a theme and everything, and it's part of my theme on my 3DS because I love it so much. But the music and the audio that they did in the 3DS version is more memorable to me than this one. Where this one, and it might be because there's more music in 3DS version, where this one is more uh, the audio is more about the environments and not necessarily music. Maybe that's it. And it might be why I remember it more. But I do agree that the audio in this is outstanding overall. I'm not saying it's bad compared to 3DS. I'm just saying I remember the 3DS version a little bit more. So, oh, and he said it's only up for Game of the Year and Best Action Adventure. Those are only two categories it's in.
I don't know if it's because you guys didn't talk about it as much on the podcast, but I get a feeling like the Game Awards, and I know if they could do more, because I feel like some of those like Oscar categories aren't there, like visual effects or screenwriting or sound effects or sound editing, or I feel like a lot of the games are just more the genre based awards where it's like this is the best sports game,
Okay.
this is the best action game,
Yeah.
where they should break it down into those categories, and maybe people wouldn't be interested in watching that on a broadcast, but
They
like
could
you
always
could
do the
really
side
break,
thing. They've done that
you could,
before.
yeah, make those the technical, but there should be awards for that
They should be, yeah. And maybe they
for
still
breaking
do. I
down
don't
visual.
I don't remember if they still do that or not. And they're just not something you can vote on publicly, but maybe it's something you can vote on industry wise.
Right,
So
and it's like politics. It sounds like the upper the know the people in the know, their vote counts more than the average Joe like you and I guess. But
yes, yeah.
sure,
Seth also says they're both really good as far as the audio we were talking about. I just think it's a standout element of the game that deserves to be recognized, like Forza gets the nomination for audio design over Metroid. So I get it.
I mean, and that's where I would have an issue with the game of the year. Like they do the same thing at the Oscars with the films. They put all the films from any genre, and like this is the best film. But I might be a real fan of, and we'll take this back to the video games. I might be a fan of an action platformer like Metroid, and I really hate racing simulations like Forza. So I'm going to be very skewed toward Metroid because, yeah, I mean, Forza could be a beautifully made racing simulator with real cars and all that. I don't. That's just not my thing.
Right.
So sure, can I appreciate it for what it is? Hopefully, it's still not like it's not something that I would like. Oh yeah, that's a great game, but I don't know if I would vote for it for Game of the Year for that reason.
Yeah. I got you. Ninfrendo is taken off, so thanks Ninfrendo for stopping by and watching it this far. So have a good night. And then Seth from All In Podcast says that I make this point in regards to the audio or what he talked about earlier uh, on the All In show, tomorrow's All In show that goes out on Saturday. So spoilers. So thanks for spoiling that, Seth. But it's really annoying to me how much video game awards shows try to be like other award shows for other mediums. We should embrace why video games are different and special. So I think that's
I
going
mean,
along with what you were saying.
don't get me wrong. I would have just a sports game category, and like because I heard you guys talk about, well, so for the racing sports game category, like get that racing out of there. That's not a sport.
Yeah, I agree. That should be separated. I think racing should be its own category. I got frustrated with that in years past when it was, all lumped in together. So,
Yeah, I can drive a car too. That doesn't mean I want to. No, it's not the same thing. Get that out of
Forza
here.
Hambone says Forza spoiler cast next month. That's
I'll
Game
talk to
Pass
them.
news. Game Pass news
Yeah,
is try got that covered.
That's Nick and Sean's
I
job.
will say if if you haven't heard yesterday's show for the Nintendo Dads, I talked about playing that game and it is I can see why people are their minds are getting blown by this game because it is that much more better than 4 when for me at least. I tried 4 and just seems like 5 is that much better, much more intuitive, much more friendlier to people like me who want to play more the arcade side, not simulation. And you can go in and turn on the simulation if you want to do that. Or you can keep it standard and just play for fun and keep all the things that help you out. And I think Nick even mentioned that on his own show that he's like, I want all that stuff on because I want to have fun with it and not worry about the simulation stuff. So
Yeah, like obviously I can't drive a stick. I can't drive stick, so I'm not going to drive a Ferrari. Well, either way, so either that or just let me crash it all over the place.
yes.
I
All
mean,
right.
well, my main takeaway from yesterday's show was uh, I'll get some Google Stadia if it has NHL '94. That's all. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
So Justin, work on that one.
All right, so this is where I was able to get.
Yep. This is where I thought I was too smart by half because it had to crawl across the top to get me.
Yeah, this was my second go around. So because you could see, this was the blasting it.
Yep.
Because I already got the shield off the face, so I had to go back all the way around to get enough time to be able to blow it up. And I saw it was crawling down here, and I was just like, screw it, I'll wait till it pops its head up and I'll just blow it up.
Yeah, that is totally one of the most satisfying parts of the game. Totally when you pop it.
Yeah. Seth says NHL 94 on every platform, like Shovel Knight or something. That's right. It should be there.
I will play it anywhere.
It should be there. Should be anywhere. Especially Rewind. Oh, this is the one. Okay. So this is that boss that everybody, even you were mentioning how much you had a hard time with at this one. Right? I forget the name of this one.
Yep.
But this is the bug flying thing that just shoots missiles like crazy, the homing missiles and the black orb ball and all that kind of stuff. And this was one of the ones that took me a while to get the pattern of as well. Maybe not as much as the experiment one or the last Ravenbeak one, but this one, just for some reason, this one was frustrating to me. But once I got to it, go ahead.
Go ahead. I think it turns to that orb thing. I died once and I thought, are you kidding me? I'm that close.
Yeah. Because I didn't know what was going on here. I think this is why I recorded it too. It's like, what is going on here? What do I do? And it's like, okay, I'm just going to keep shooting it.
Yeah.
And then I thought I was going to die too. It's like, I feel like I'm so close. But then you keep shooting it and you absorb the X-Parasite and you're like, you heal up. And I was like, okay. Storm missiles required. Love the storm missiles.
I mean, it's one of those things where it takes you a while to actually get, like, hey, you have this thing, use it. Because I would get to other bosses and then I would cheat a little bit because I've been killed 20 times. And then someone's like, oh, I'm like, oh man, the storm missile should have been the most intuitive thing to do right there, but I didn't think to do it.
Yes.
And it's the frustration that you try something the wrong way too many times and then get angry and then, oh, if I just stopped and thought, that would have been more clear to me.
Yeah. But it felt good probably when you figured it out though too.
When you figure it out, I mean, it's also a little bit of you watch somebody else do a short video and it's a bit of a facepalm. You're like,
oh yeah, you're just
why
like,
didn't I think of that?
Yeah.
Yeah, duh, why didn't I think of that?
Yes. More underwater stuff. I think this is where I get the suit though, the upgrade.
I mean, there's a lot, even in the background, the water dripping.
Yes. Suit upgrade. I love the suit upgrade stuff.
Yeah, now you look like a badass biker chick, though.
Look at that.
Like,
There's a
yeah.
slow rise.
Right, but the hard edges,
Yep.
not the scales, but yeah, like
I
the
get
shoulder
it.
thing.
The shoulder things, yeah. I love this is my favorite, the purple. Getting the purple in there.
Yep.
I love it.
But this is the biker jacket you're wearing with the spikes on the top.
Yes, it is. Yep.
Seth, you see that even from that perspective, you'll see the background behind you, like with the statue, I guess.
Yeah.
Seeing it from a different angle.
Yep. It's all cool. I love it. And Seth is saying he loves the purple, and then he also was acknowledging that was totally me with the underwater boss. It took me an embarrassing long time to figure out what you have to shoot the big button on the wall to drain the water.
Oh yeah.
Yep. So
actually, So I didn't realize that I had to get into the fight with it, and then drain a little bit of the water, get to the top, and then I guess like rail across the other side. So I tried to rail across with the full room of water, and it would just kill me. And like I'm doing something clearly wrong here because I'm not moving fast enough.
Yeah. Yep. So there's the gravity suit, which will help get you through the water quicker. That felt good. I was like, okay, I can get through the water a lot quicker now.
Yeah, because then I went back to the purple ME that was chasing me in the water, and basically I was lamb to the slaughter.
Yeah. Yes. Of course, I had to get the elevator shot with the purple suit now. That's what this is for.
Right.
Every time I got a suit upgrade, I had to go to the train and I had to go to an elevator so I can get that shot of what it looks like in those areas.
It's cool looking up close. I like it.
All right, so now I'm in the cold area.
This kind of frustrated me when I came out of, and I can't remember which boss you beat, but all of a sudden now the lava's not flowing and the heat, and so there's frozen doors.
Right.
And you're like, oh, but so there was clearly only one way to go now because everywhere I want to go,
Right.
the door's frozen.
That was satisfying there when I was able to hop up there.
Yep.
And then swipe at the same time and kill it. It was like, yeah, I really know what I'm doing. No, I don't.
I honestly, I like the mechanic, but the melee counter was one of the most, like, my timing was just awful, and I would get beat down, and like, but if it just was like a fraction of a second earlier or later.
Yes. So here's the scene that I had taken a shot of earlier where the lava was coming out of that central area there, and then now it's turned off, and this is why everything's frozen. And then this is where you also get to that experiment that you walked in on that we talked about earlier, where it's in the background getting shocked or operated on.
Yep.
So yeah.
I mean, there's a couple of those sequences where the experiment like lasers the one side of the wall, and now you're trying to run against the momentum.
Yeah, I call it the Flappy Bird phase.
So yeah, that didn't work for me. It's like I couldn't both run to not smash against the wall of death, but also jump for the projectiles of death that are coming at me. And so, like, I'll be honest, a lot of these later bosses were just a war of attrition. Like, I was trying to figure out places where I can die here as long as I don't die too many times or get hit too many times. I'll make it out at the end.
Right.
I'm not the most proficient, and I can see people doing this on YouTube much better than me and escaping and dodging and killing, and they're making all the bad.
But what you don't see,
I want to make it to the end.
What you don't see is how many times they had to get to that point where it looks like they're badass.
Oh yeah. No, but basically, like they're coming out of these boss fights like all prim and proud of themselves, and I'm bleeding from here, and my thing's falling off, and I just survived, and
right.
I've got the jalopy that just made it to the end of the race.
Exactly. Oh, here we go. Look.
Yeah.
Where did it go? Where did
why
he go?
Is it not there anymore? And how does it eat me?
I got my purple suit. I'm ready to take it on, but where did it go? This is not good.
I mean, it's not going to jump out at you literally right there anymore. So that's good.
But where did it go?
Where'd it go?
Where did
and
it
this
go?
is the thing, like, because like that faded black is like, oh crap.
Yeah, there's that faded black.
Something's about to kill me. And you know what? The thing that got frustrating is like these, and I think the developer would hate this, but like I look at this the first time, and it's very wonderful, and the visuals and the attention to detail that they do.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're dying the fifth time, you like skip. I don't want, like, just get it over with. I want to either finally beat this or die again.
Right. Yes. Yeah, I I appreciate that they did have the skip sequence so you could skip it, but it
Yeah.
would have been cool if it was smart enough to know, all right, you already saw this,
And just
and
not
just
play it.
and just get to the point, get back to
Yeah.
fighting, to start the fight over. But I guess maybe it couldn't do that the way it was done. So, but I'm glad the skip was there because there's some
Oh,
times too where I was like, you know what, let me watch this one more time.
yeah, but I mean, if you couldn't skip, we're talking 25 hours of gameplay.
Yes,
Every time I had to watch it again.
right. But yeah, this was a tough boss fight for me. This was one of those two-day ones for me, 2 or 3 days. I can't remember sure, but it was like I fought it and fought it and fought it and couldn't figure out the pattern. It kept dying, and just couldn't get it done. And it was like, okay, I need to take a break, and then came back to it the next day or the next time I played it, and just
Yeah, I gotta be honest. This one was a totally one where if you didn't know the sequence, you had to look it up. For me,
yeah, it was just like
there was too many specific things you had to do. That, yeah,
it was a lot of learning for me.
I
So,
mean,
but
another,
I loved
another,
it. I loved it still. That's the thing about this
yeah,
game. It was like, no matter how many times it kicked my ass, I still came back. Even if it was the next day, I came back because I was like, I can do this. Maybe that day before I didn't think I could do it, but the next day I was like, okay, I'm going in. I'm gonna get this done. And
this
I
was
did.
one of the ones where you audibly cheered when if you got that melee right and
Yes,
were sitting on his head, filling it up with missiles. That
yes.
was another one. You're like, yes, take that, damn it.
This was one of the shots I grabbed because I liked it from the video. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah,
The map where it's at. A shot of the purple suit, and a shot of me beat after I beat that
the
monster.
victory shot.
The victory shot, the clear room, and the clear um whatever the machine that was giving the area heat.
The bottom right corner or the bottom left corner, it's not a door, but I thought it was a door. And I just said, no, how do I open these doors? And he looked at me like, Dad, that's a wall. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
come on.
Seth missed us talking about Kraid earlier, so he's just yelling Kraid. So
Sorry, Seth.
maybe that was his nemesis that he had a hard time getting through. I don't know.
It's not a bad nemesis. That one was tough too.
So this I took a screenshot because I thought it was very interesting of what was going on in the background again. Just another robot being created or whatever, going through the manufacturing and looking almost done. Just
Yeah,
again the cool background stuff.
yeah. Against the backdrop of the lava, it's the lighting is really good too. There too.
Yeah,
There's more of these worms you don't like.
yeah. That at that point I was just like, all right, yeah, I know what to do.
It's all good worms.
Yes.
I
Why'd
have
that
no problem with you.
why'd that stop? Is that it? That was weird. It just like stopped in the middle of that video. This is the screw attack that you get. And of course,
Screw attack just sounds dirty, to be honest.
and that's got a cool look to it because of course it looks like the Samus symbol. So that's pretty
Yep.
cool. Let's see. Seth is lots of environmental storytelling in the backdrops. Yeah, we talked about this, Seth, on your show. In regards to this game, is definitely the storytelling, the environment that helps the storytelling. And Mercury Steam is definitely good at it, and I'm so excited to see what they do next, either with this game or if they do another Nintendo game. It's going to be cool to see. All right, so what am I doing here in this video? Like, probably trying to figure out what my next move is. Or, oh, that's right. I probably just got the screw attack, and I'm like, okay, what did I need to go back to? Where do I
I
need
mean,
to go again?
a lot of times you look at the map and you think there's a clear direct line from A to B where you want to be, and then you end up finding out like, no, that's the way out. You had to go all the way around to the other side.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, this guy.
This one reminded me of the final boss. This one again is from Ocarina of Time, where you have to slide between the legs.
Oh yes. Okay. Good point.
Also, it's a big purple. Well, it's not a reptile, but you get the idea.
At this point, you can tell I was like already used to the blob flying around. It was like, okay, whatever.
Mhm.
I'm just gonna blow you up. But
Yeah,
crossbow,
you're definitely like I've been here. This is my first blob rodeo.
right? Good call. Seth says good call on Ganon. Does totally remind me of that. And of course, another shot, but in the purple suit this time on the train. Gotta get that shot. Both ways, going east and west. There you go, east and west.
I've got just enough money for fare, and I'm good to go.
Yep. And then I gotta get the video version of it too. So, all right. So here is when I get to I forget where I'm at here, but you can see the damage on the bridge.
Yep.
And this comes up as a weakness later in the game, obviously.
There's a powerful thing that you need to use there.
Yes. And Seth is like, power bomb time.
Oh, Seth, I was being a little more subtle and
Right.
teasing it out.
Oh, and that's right. The other thing that was helpful in this game is that ability to detect breakable walls using the tool to do that. I forget what it was called, but it was just basically the radar.
Yep.
And then the other reason too for this one is because of what you see in the background, jumping around in the lower part of the screen. One of the Chozo warriors,
Right,
escaping out the back there.
I think the radar in Samus Returns was a little bit more, like you had to sort of know what you were looking for because you had to aim it. It was like a beam,
yeah,
out of your arm, and if you were pointing in the wrong direction, it wasn't going to help you either way.
Yeah, you had
of course,
to.
this one had a limited time, right? Yeah, this one you just sort of like everywhere.
Yes, just because it was limited time, but you could go on to the next room and see if there was anything too that was.
Yeah, and it showed you the whole screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is where it gets a little. Right.
Yep. So you're like, what is going on there?
Yeah, something's up.
It's like, give in to the dark side, Samus. I want to see the power.
Turn to the Sith.
And then what's going on there? It looks like it's on a screen, like somebody's watching.
Yeah.
But again, great shot of her in her purple suit. Just love the purple suit.
And right by the wrist, those lines, like that's like almost like an infection starting at the hand.
Yeah.
Spreading down the arm, right?
Yep.
Now, dumb question, but like the cannon, there's an arm underneath that, right?
Yes.
She's got two arms? Yes.
She has two arms.
Okay.
And there's Ravenbeak.
Son of a bitch is watching this.
Yep. And more background stuff. Just all those experiments or whatever's going on back there. Is that stuff going to come popping out of there?
Yeah, I always want them to throw in like really weird Easter eggs and those kind of things where you put in like something that's not part of the game, but maybe a throwback to the old game.
Right. Like, or even Prime, because Prime was happening between 1 and 2 of the regular Metroid series, if I remember correctly. So, yeah. That's the stuff I can't remember, unfortunately. Somebody's got to point it out to me, like, oh yeah, this is from this game or from that world in that game. You know, it's like, okay, all right.
I mean, you're gonna have to forgive me that, like, for timelines like this stuff, uh, no one I try to figure out the Zelda timeline, and after a while, I just thought, you know what, I don't really care anymore. Link is Link, and he could have been from 3 alternate dimensions or whatever, but sure,
Yeah.
it gets too much to me. Okay, I just want to enjoy the game now. Yes, so this is the most gratifying not fight because you're like, yep, I'm gonna
Yes.
kill this
Yep.
with my weird arm.
That was so satisfying because, like, all right, I got one more Emmy I got to beat, and then you do that, and you're just like, yes, I have the power.
Or there are no more friggin' enemies that are gonna kill me.
Yeah, I know. It was like, so it's like when you look at the overall impact of the Emmys, is basically the first one was easy to beat because compared to the others,
Yeah,
because it didn't have the shield and you just had to do one blast because you just had to get used to it. And then the last one was easy to beat because it was part of the story and you getting that power or showing that you were like not afraid to use that power. So, but again, it was part of building up just that okay, now Samus is even more of a badass. So,
so I have a feeling this is gonna come back where to a part I haven't come back to yet. The arm.
the part you haven't gotten to yet, is that what you're
Yeah, the
saying?
part I haven't
Okay.
got to yet. The arm's gonna play into something, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And again, for those who just joined, Chris explained at the beginning that he is fighting Ravenbeak right now. Right before we started this, he was playing the game and getting stuck in the first phase, which most of us probably did, you know.
Which I'm less encouraged by because I thought I was doing much better than phase 1-4.
Yes.
But we'll see.
Yep. So yeah, like I said, there's multiple phases. I counted 4 phases for me, but some people counted the first phase that I counted as one phase as 2 phases. So there, yeah. So, and Hambone
I'm at
says
a
he's
point
been
where I
there
don't
for
instantly
sure.
die. I'm at a point where I don't instantly die, but I can hold my own for a couple minutes.
Yeah. And Seth says you'll get it, Chris. Such a fun fight. And everybody's cheering you on. Johnny's like, power through, Chris. You'll do it. So they're cheering you on. So
Thanks,
again,
guys.
here's me fighting the this thing. And look, see, I missed the timing on that. I was like, oh, swipe. Yeah. Oh, wait a minute.
Story of my life.
And this, I think I die.
Boom.
Oh, maybe not.
Eat it.
Oh, that's right. This is where I was doing that. Okay. I thought I died there, but there was just, nope. I'll just destroy you with my power.
Yeah, because now you see the arm is almost like an infection now because it's spreading.
Yeah.
Now you see a little bit more color. There's the black on the arm.
Yep.
Yeah, something's going on. And
Definitely.
I don't know the story about you being part Metroid anymore, but because I can't say I played those games.
Yeah,
but,
well, it's mentioned at the beginning of the game. You're part Metroid because of you were first infected by the X parasite, and in order so Samus wouldn't die, she had to have one of the Metroid. They had Metroid shots, essentially a shot from what was left of a Metroid. They infused it with her blood or whatever, and she now became part Metroid. Now she could absorb the X parasite, and that's why she's able to do that with the X parasite, absorb it, because she's now part Metroid and can take and use that as a healing factor. Because Metroids were the natural predators of X parasites, and that's why the X parasites got big or got too many because Metroids were destroyed. So there were no more natural predators to the X parasite
Mm,
to eat them.
right.
So
So this sounds a lot like, because there's Marvel's doing a series called She-Hulk coming
yes,
up, where uh, Bruce Banner has to give his cousin a blood transfusion,
yes,
and now she's also a Hulk.
yep. So it was
Yeah.
basically it comes down to that whole. There's a whole storyline of where Metroids are basically end up, even though she fights a lot of them, a lot of times they end up saving her. So like the baby Metroid story, coming to save her, type of thing, and all that fun stuff. All the experiments that the Federation did on the Metroids end up coming to save her because of the infusion they gave her from a Metroid.
So I'll be really interested to see where the story goes from here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, where I'd like to hear your thoughts about that.
Well, you're gonna see some pictures that I don't know if you want to see unless you want to discover it yourself, but we'll see. We'll get there. I'll try. Hopefully, I can warn you
I
before.
might cheat anyway because I need to know how to get through these 5 phases.
All right. But this is just so much fun, so satisfying. So,
Hmm.
all right. So let's see what we got left here. So yep, got to destroy that pretty quickly with the awesome power we have.
I mean, it was a little. It's sort of like being on the golf course where you get the gimme and you don't actually put the ball into the hole. You kind of wanted to pop his head off at the end too, though.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, well, that's okay that I didn't have to fight it, but I kind of wanted. I would have mind getting the chance to blow its head off too.
Right. All right, so we got the power bomb, which is also pretty epic in this game. So I like the power bomb.
It sort
Um,
of becomes a default to, like, I can't know where to go right now. Just blow up everything.
just blow up everything. Just like
Right.
it's gonna show me something.
Yeah. Something will happen. I'll kill something.
Right. All right, so I took a shot of this one again, background, graphics, all that kind of stuff. The story that it adds is basically you got some of the ships in the background, the environment with the rain, just again, spectacular stuff. And again, too, you can see where I'm at as far as energy levels go. I got already 8 power bombs. And in fact, I had found power bombs before I got this. They were in my count, but I think they were question marks. Oh, they weren't
Yeah.
showing there, but they were question marks in
Yeah.
my menu.
There's a few. I think unknown item found,
Yes.
and I would just like, no. What, you tell me what it is? No, you'll find it.
Yeah, right. So
And
let's
then,
see. Seth says, "What is your completion when you finish the game?" So, uh, it was 60. I want to say either 61 or 67. For some reason, I can't remember. I think it was 61% when I finished the game. Um, because I was telling Chris that there was a point where I was like, yeah, I'm in 100% each area before I move on to the next, or 100% before I beat the boss. And then it was like, I think about halfway through the game or a certain point in the game, I was like, screw it. I'm powering through. I'll get what I find. And I'm getting to the boss. So, but I beat the boss and then, still playing the game and trying to collect things I missed before.
I think I think we talked about painting the map. I was more interested in painting the whole map than getting all the items.
Yeah. And that's something too that's kind of funny. I think a lot more people would have painted the map if they would have included that percentage on there too. Like
That
you've
sounds like
got you got 100% of this area painted.
that sort of sounds like telling your kid to color between the lines, though. I mean,
Yeah,
like, it's just pretty useless at the end, but
but people would have done it.
oh, for sure.
So I took another screenshot of this when, when I destroyed that brain. Just thought the environment was interesting.
Yeah, the background is a great shot.
All right, so we got here. Come on. The load screen, man. Oh, okay. This is me coming out of the save. Again, I had to take the save shot of her in her new purple, awesome suit. Had to do that. Let's see. Seth says, I ended up going back to 100% all of the items, and I also 100% painted the map. So that is awesome, Seth. Good for you.
Now he's showing off, Seth.
Yeah, that is awesome, though. That's I just got to a certain point. It was just like, I need to finish it. I want to finish this. I want to get to the end because it's like,
I will say though, when I painted a part of the map, died, and didn't save, this is why I'm a fanatic.
About going back and
obsessive
saving.
compulsive saver, because I like, man, I painted that map. What the hell?
Yeah. Of course. Okay, here's the elevator shot. Again, like I said, every time I got a new suit, I had to get an elevator shot, a train shot. I had to get all those shots. Gotta do it. Because it looks badass in the difference. See? Train shot with the new purple suit. Had to have it. Okay, it's me just trying to.
It's covered up by your screen, but what's your missile count at right
now? 178, 179.
All right. There's a little foreshadowing with the soldier jumping out of the way.
Yep. Just love those things happening in the background. Just like, dude, all right, I'm out of here.
Yeah, and this was the one with you've got to grapple the shield away, which I was not going to do that.
Yeah. Let's see. Seth says, it drove me insane, but the space jump makes it pretty easy, just tedious for painting, I think. And then still need to go in for a hard mode run as soon as I can find the 25th hour of the day. I agree. Yep.
The space jump definitely made a bunch of things obsolete. Like I wasn't grappling around anymore.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. This is me painting.
Yeah, this is like your Neo now in the Matrix, and you're like, I can fly.
Yes. I actually didn't finish painting that room. Oh yeah, you think you're bad? Well, wait till you get a load of my hand.
Oh man.
All right. Oh yeah. Okay. So this is where I'm like, all right, I'm ready.
I'm kind of interested in how they do. This is a very different painting the room. Very interesting how this is a different elevator, I guess.
Yes.
You're now sitting. Yeah.
It's great though. I mean, just look again, animation, the graphics, the way it works. I think I got the next one here. It continues it. Yeah, there we go. Like, all right, where is this taking me? I'm like, wait, my ship's over there.
Right. I mean, Iterash sounds like there should be a cream for that.
So here I was debating. I think this is where I was debating. Like, do I go back and get 100% items before I go up there, or not? And it's like, oh, I'm just gonna go all right up there. More video.
Yeah, I thought, man, they let her sit down this time.
Yeah. Awesome.
This is like, yeah, I know I'm bad.
Yep. I'm just gonna sit here and enjoy the ride. Where's my mimosa?
I really think Samus Aran's drink of choice would be an old fashioned.
Okay. All right.
I have no reason for saying that.
I see. I like old fashions. I think that's
she wants a whiskey. She wants a whiskey or something, you know.
Yeah. Okay. Let's think about that more.
That's something for the chat. Let's put in there. What's
Samus's drink of choice?
Samus Aran just murdered all the enemies and is sitting at the bar. What's she drinking?
All right. So Seth says old fashions are his drink of choice as well. So Seth, if we do have a Nintendo Dad's Con and you're able to come, or if we're anywhere in proximity of each other and we meet up, we're definitely going to have an old fashioned together.
I'm down.
There we go.
I would. I know other podcasts do this where they do drunk episodes. I want the drunk Nintendo dads.
I don't know.
I know.
What are the Twitch rules? The streaming rules for that? Are you allowed to do that?
I don't. Well, either way,
I have to find out.
You had drunk Justin a couple of times.
I don't know if I would say I don't think he was drunk. It was more buzzed, definitely.
Oh, that's good enough. Well, I'll take Buzz dads.
There was a time too that I participated in the Nintendo Pals stream. I wasn't on the show, but I was in the chat, and this was the first time I drank too much of the strawberry daiquiri that I really like from Costco. And I was a happy drunk, buzzing in the chat, just talking silly. And I think it was the same day we had a show too, but it was starting to wear off. So I was feeling a little silly, but it was all right.
I mean, I can't hug anybody through the stream, but that's probably where I would be. Or I would try to give you a high five. Like, everybody high five. Yeah.
Yes. Seth said he's totally down for the meetup and drinking old fashions. And then he said, I did a podcast called Nerd Bourbon for about 3.5 years. That was exactly that.
There you go.
And then Johnny says, beers and birdies flew by. I bet it
more
did.
beers or birdies.
Yes. All right. So here's the background I liked, because it was again where we saw earlier where Ravenbeak was looking at a video watching Samus, what she was doing. And this is where we can see that base at where he was at. So, but something that I thought was interesting was how big this room is.
Ravenbeak likes the space.
Yes. All right. So here's the Adam where you go up. And this is that point where we were talking about where you felt through the whole game Adam was manipulated by Ravenbeak. And I felt like through the whole game, Adam was Adam until this point where this was fake Adam. So.
And you notice the difference? Like here you have the text box and you have Adam.
Yeah.
And then at one point in the conversation, it's just the text.
Yes.
On the screen. And you're like, okay, something's different.
Yeah, it's like almost like you have a choice to make, right?
Right.
So.
Like, I didn't want to do that.
Right. Yeah, so Scars No More, what's up? Popping in on the stream. What's going on? Popping in on the dinner table.
I mean, and then you just decide, all right, enough of this nonsense.
Yeah, you're like, there's something's wrong here. Something's not right.
Pop a cap in this Adam guy.
Now,
what's really going on?
Before I go any further, I got to make sure, Scars No More, are you good with us? Because we're doing a Metroid Dread spoilers, if you remember. So make sure you're good.
I do remember. I'm all in. I beat this game on easy, on hard, did 100% on everything. I'm all in.
Sweet. All right, just making sure. All right, so we got through a majority of the stuff. We're at the point where you go up to Ravenbeak's place. I was gonna say Ravenclaw. Ravenbeak's place up in, in a ship and stuff. And Adam is there, and we're discussing the point of you find out Adam isn't Adam. Now, we were just talking about this, but what do you think, Scars No More? Do you think, is this where you learn that Adam was not Adam throughout the whole game, or just at this point?
I had a little confusion on that too, because that came up and I was like, whoa, so during the entire time that wasn't Adam? And I felt like it came out of left field. It was a big surprise. But then the second time going through it in hard, I kind of had some more confirmation with him. Like, yeah, it feels like he had too much information to give me. And I feel like he was piecemealing it, kind of pushing you to become the ultimate version that he wanted you.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm definitely in that camp where Adam was the front.
Okay. Yeah, Seth is saying I kind of got the sense that Adam got overtaken by Ravenbeak at the end there. That's where I was in that camp. But I guess if you play it multiple times, you get a different sense there too. But Chris, you just play it. You're playing through it now, and you're feeling like you're being led somewhere. So
Yeah, going back, I think that Ravenbeak was leading us the whole way.
okay, very cool. All right, let's see what I got here.
The only tribe capable of
Here we
controlling
go.
the Metroids. Though you possess their DNA, you are not a Faux. Your physical prowess suggests that you must also possess Makan DNA. Metroids are programmed to
I feel like this is
identify
where we need the
as enemies.
23andMe for
This suggests
Samus.
something to me. It is very
Where it came
probable
from.
that your
Right.
metamorphosis occurred as
I
a
gotta
result
feel
of
a
Ravenbeak's
little bit of that.
attack.
I like that
This
idea. I'm
insinuates
actually
that
gonna
the
go look
Metroids
at my
killer
23andMe graphic and see if I can Photoshop it to make it look like Samus got hers done and put, like big chunk of it Metroid. Another chunk of it X Parasite and then Chozo and then.
What do you mean I'm only 13% X Parasite? Come on.
Yeah. So what does he say here at the end? It is very probable that your metamorphosis occurred as a result of Ravenbeak's attack. His presence awakened the Metroid's killer instinct.
See, he's still putting up the facade.
Yep.
And at one point, he starts. Now I'm talking in first person, and you're like, "Well, okay, something changed there."
Yep. And
I
she's still
think
standing there. Yep.
feel like he was. I feel like he was tired of keeping up the facade. He's like, "All right, I'm just gonna kill him. I'm just gonna kill her now. So just
Your
gonna tell her
metamorphosis has
what's been going on."
accelerated. It can no longer be controlled. You are now a Metroid, Samus Aran. Your very existence poses a
Right
grave
here.
threat to the galaxy.
Yeah.
However, there is no need to fear. You can still contribute to galactic peace. You need only
Basically,
use your
just
new
die,
powers
and you'll help us
correctly.
all.
Right. Yep. And I just found this all fascinating and just like blowing my mind when watching this, and listening to this. Like, what is happening?
This was the portion where I remember hearing from someone reading it online when they were like, "Yeah, Adam never calls her by her full name. He always says lady."
Okay. Yeah. Yep. I think Chris, you mentioned that too.
I was like, "You're my boy, Adam. What happened?"
Yep.
Continue to do so.
Yeah, and so here you see the difference in the conversation now.
Highly satisfactory.
I consider your performance.
It has
Yeah.
even awakened your
Yep.
Metroid powers.
Okay.
I was right to let you live during our first encounter. That one
I kind of wanted a little
told
more of a
me
slow motion, like
everything. Submit
maybe
and
a
offer up
close
your
up at her
power.
face, and she's
My
like,
plan
"All
is
right,
the
hold on,
only way to bring
Look at her eyes and stuff and
Yeah,
just to
let's
see what's
mess
going
with-
on.
let's mess this fool up." Yeah,
Seth says
Absolutely.
he thinks that's a very interesting point, and I don't think I picked up on that what we're talking about here in our discussion.
order to the galaxy. Fulfill your destiny, Samus. This is an order. Disobedience will not be tolerated.
So again, him trying to make it sound like he's Adam, but like you said, he's not saying lady, and he's saying the full name. So very good points, gentlemen. Very good points.
And of course, it's just a very quick boom,
Yeah. Just like,
Drop
shut
that.
up.
boom. Yeah.
So good.
And that's where I kind of changed my whole perception of the atom, because the way it blows up, I guess, or disintegrates like that. Like I thought it was like a physical. It looks more like a screen there.
Yeah, it was more like an illusion,
Right.
a holograph or something.
Yeah.
All right. So here we are. We're at this point of the game, and it's like, what do you think? What are you thinking? My daughter. He's father. He's Darth Vader, essentially.
Right.
I am your father. And the eyes. I love always the emotion in the eyes that she gives. So
I did get that Darth Vader feeling. Oh, my daughter.
Yeah. So just again, love the suit, but then just getting down to like, okay, here it is. This is the fight. And
I mean,
then
it says a lot about Luke Skywalker that he's like, no, where Sam was like, all right, I'm gonna mess you up.
all right, so yeah. Very cool, very cool.
She's cold blooded.
So here we go, fighting them. There's that, of course, the melee. Getting through one of the cutscenes for the melee. This is phase one. This is what I called phase one, the whole thing. That ends phase one. So this is what happens when you get through phase one and enter phase two. Again, this is what I call phase two. There's other people who call this phase three. And this is what I was telling you, Chris, is did you get to this point yet? And it sounds like you have not yet. So
nope.
Now's your time to bail if you want to bail.
No, I'm in.
All right.
I'm in.
Hey, Tim.
Yes.
How long did you last on that phase one before you realized you had to transition to melee attacks?
How many times did I go through that before figuring out the melee stuff?
Well, sort of, because I remember playing it and I was just shooting and shooting and shooting and saying, I'm not doing anything. And then realizing that I had to transition to melee to actually do damage.
Yes, that's right. I don't know because I just kept shooting regardless of whether it was doing damage or not. And then just kept doing melee whenever there was an opportunity to do melee. And then eventually realizing that I couldn't on the red ones. But when getting through on the white move, or in this case where it's gold.
I'll be honest, there's numerous bosses where I was just firing just what I thought to save my life, and my son would say, Dad, you're not doing anything right now because you're shooting the wrong way or you're shooting the wrong weapon or whatever.
Well, and it's not like you can tell really, for at least for me, I couldn't tell whether or not it was doing damage because there's no meter, boss meter to tell you how much damage you're doing, which is fine. I appreciated that. It was like, okay, cool, this is different. It's just like you're just gonna keep bombarding it with whatever you got, and that's what I did. I didn't know if it was actually doing any damage or not, and then I guess later on when I read, it was like, I forget which color it is, but one color you can't do any damage to them, and then another color you can. I didn't care. I just kept doing it, and then I just kept shooting and shooting and shooting, getting to those melee cutscenes, and then
I guess that's why I asked you about your missile count, because I did one run where I literally went through all of them.
All right, yeah. So it's 179 missiles is what I have.
Yeah, I shot all my missiles and I had nothing left. And I was like, oh, now I'm dead.
So that's the other thing is, like, as you see here, when you do the melee, you get missiles back.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the melees are very important on the timing because you get things back. And especially later on, not this phase, not the flying phase that we're in here. You can't melee anywhere in here. But after you get rid of the wings, you can melee again in the same manner you did in the first phase, but you got to watch out for other things that come into play in the third phase. Yeah. So
I guess in the first phase, there's also that orb it shoots at you, and if you power bomb that, there's some.
That's actually in the third phase. There's a giant orb that he shoots up in the air.
So the first phase, it starts off like a small one. It grows.
That one you don't have to power bomb. You can actually just keep shooting, like, I think it's like 3 or 4 missiles at it, and it'll blow up and give you missiles as well and health.
Okay, but you could also power bomb it though. I think.
Could, yeah. That's right. Yeah, the black orb. Yes, yeah, that one you definitely want to shoot at. You want to get enough distance from it if you can. You can shoot at it, get 4 missiles at it, and it'll blow up, and you'll get some more missiles. But then you got to time it enough time or flash over to get close to him because he's going to do the whole shooting in the air and spreading out the beam across that you got to be close
Yep.
enough to him not to get hit by. Or he might do the shot that just shoots straight up at you, and you just have to duck.
Right.
But yeah, that black orb is definitely what that helps in regenerating you during the fight. So you want to get those definitely as well. But when I did this, I was like, yes. And then he appeared like this, and in the first several fights, I died so many times with him flying around, figuring it
When you
out.
get past that first phase, that's when I started fist pump, like, yes, I did it. And then like, oh wait, there's more. Of course,
Yeah.
there's more.
Yes. There's definitely more, and I didn't know how many phases of it either, so it was just like, this is him flying around and just me being close to death. And then finally figure out, oh, okay, I forgot about my slide. Like, I need to slide. I don't think I make it this one, but
Oh God.
yeah, that's the whole thing. You gotta get around it, flash around. It's
Oh man.
it's knuckin' futz.
That flash move really, really helps. But
Yes.
that's how I was getting around it.
Yep. I think we lost some viewers because they're like, oh, I don't want to see anything more. We're down to one viewer. I don't know who that is. It's got to be Seth because he's beat the game 100%.
I mean, it's also 12:30 on the East Coast.
True.
Whatever time it is. Yeah, it
No,
might just be
Yeah.
1 o'clock.
This is going to be like a 3-hour episode because we're getting through. But we got about 30 more slides. 30 more slides. All right. So this is the point where I'm getting towards the end. One last time, Chris.
I'm in. Yeah,
All right. So at this point, I got through, again, I call it 3 phases. There's the first phase that we talked about. The second phase where he's flying around and you got to slide underneath him when he's coming at you. Or if you're jumping around, you just got to watch out for when he's flying across to try to air tackle you. And you just got to dodge those. Or when he's shooting at you, you got to do the flash dodge or, the spark jump, space jump, and all that kind of stuff. Just getting around the bullets so you don't get hit by it and getting through that. And then once you get an opening, you're just firing missiles as much as possible. And just watching out because there's no way to regenerate. If I remember correctly, there's no way to regenerate during that second phase. So you just have to stay clear of that stuff. And then the third phase is more of the first phase, but with more powerful weapons, and then the golden sun that he shoots up in the air. That's where you use the power bomb to blow that up. But it also has wave beams that come out from it that you also have to watch out for. So you got to be quick on the power bomb.
Yeah, those wave beams were tricky.
So there's breaks in the wave beams if you can get in between them, but you got to be quick with the power bombs. Like as soon as you see him pointing up and going ready to blast that sunball up in the air, you got to get to a point where you can drop the power bomb and just get because that's how you get replenished as well, as when you blow that up. All right, so this is more talking because he's grabbed her and like, I'm enough. That's enough. We're done. I'm gonna do what I did at the beginning. I don't think this video spoils anything other than this, So, is she asleep? I don't know. I don't think so. But yeah, this is the point where she's like, you think she's about to pass out. And oh my gosh, this is just like so satisfying just to watch all this happen. And this is again, this is just the third phase. There's a fourth phase even after this happens.
Whoa.
Yeah, I yelled with Samus.
I was like, yeah, this is so freaking awesome. I even think I got a tear in my eye at this point. Like, this is so freaking cool.
My wife was like, what's going on? I'm like, she's doing it.
She's losing her freaking mind. But it's just crazy. I know you got questions, Chris. I know. You're like, what just happened to her?
Like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't really have anything.
There you go.
Wow.
Just the full Metroid just unlocked. Just it's gonna be satisfying when you beat them and just like get that to happen.
All right, you got me on the edge of my seat.
Well, for some reason this isn't doing what it needs to do. Sorry, there was a problem loading the video. Come on. Get this far and it's got a problem. Come on.
I feel like this is a really disappointing time in the show where you're like, return next week.
Oh, see, okay, so this is the fourth phase. And for some reason the video did not do something here. It's acting weird. But this is probably more Ravenbeak talking, even though you got to this point and you crash down on the planet. He gets up and then gets infected by an X parasite, and this is the next video is the transformation. Because he got infected by a giant X parasite. This is the fourth phase. Now, you sure you want to see this part?
Yeah, no, I'm in.
You're already in this far, seriously.
I'm in this part.
So, this is the like ultimate weapon she has because of the Metroid suit.
It's like the Hyper Beam from Super Metroid.
Right? And that's it. That was all.
Wow.
I tell you what though, it was like when it got to this point, and Seth, I don't know if you're still there, but when I got to this point before shooting that beam, it was just like, okay, what do I do? How much more do I have to fight? I got this new suit now. What can I do with it? And then just constantly shooting the beam at him was like, do I let go? Do I do something different?
All right, so you're shooting.
You're shooting. This is you. This is not a cutscene. You have to fire the weapon.
Do you have to aim it?
Yes.
Oh, dude. I feel like I'm shooting the wall or something.
I think it helps you a little bit though too. So it's like not totally like you can't. So. I don't think you can go off totally out of whack, but yeah, you just shoot, don't let up is what Seth said. So So after you beat him, you're trying to get to your ship after you killed him. So but you're using your super beam, you're getting through, blowing up stuff, you're just, super badass now. So but man, look at that time. You get 3 minutes to get through and get to your ship.
Which is that kind of par for the course? That's super beam is
that's
crazy.
Metroid, yeah. But I made it. 35 seconds left.
Kind of clawed it close there, Tim.
Yeah. Oh, I've heard other people like with under 10 seconds left making it. So
I know, just giving you a hard time.
So this again, you're in the ship, but Quiet Robe is in it too, and Quiet Robe later on, as we all know here, gets infected by a parasite as well. And he's the reason why the Emmys come back online, because the X parasite infected him, and he turned the Emmys back on, or the X parasite did. So, and that's why Samus is a little taken aback there and concerned, and thinking she's gonna have to kill him next. Which, super beam him. Like, I'll do it. And that was cool too. So, was this a good parasite eventually? So, what do you think the significance of that is? Does that mean that she's not as all Metroid out Or is Metroid now controllable? Like she could turn that on and off at any moment? Or was it taken
Good
away?
question. She's smart Samus now.
Yes. Was it taken away? I don't know. Maybe they will find out in a future game. More to
Hmm.
that story, type of thing. But I thought that was interesting. Now, time to get off the planet.
Kaboom.
Now, tell me this. How many planets has Samus destroyed now?
I mean, it's for the children.
Right. Yes, it's for the children. Save the children. So there we go. The credits are done. We're done, and then this is, I wait for the credits to finish and get to the end.
Is there a Samus will return in
All right, Samus will return.
dreadfully more?
And let's see. I think this is where my screen comes up of how long it took me. Oh no, this is that screen. That's right. Which I thought was really cool. Love the eyes.
Little wink of the screen.
So there's my clear time. Again, like I said, it was like there was a part of the time where it was like I was going to go find everything, get 100% before I got to the boss, which I think didn't help my time, but I wasn't looking for a quick time. I was just having fun with the game. So 16 hours and 23 minutes.
I really thought that at the end screen we would get like a face reveal, take off the helmet or something, and I was surprised that they didn't do it this time.
Yeah. And yeah, I do like the fact that you get a lot of these at the end, especially with depending on how much items you cleared. Since I only did, I think 61%, I only got one image out of the 6 I think you can get. And then there's still other areas too, like the Chozo stuff too, that you can get.
She didn't skip leg day.
No, she did not. Nope, not in that image, but I think, partially armor there too. More images I grabbed, showing off the end there. And I like that too because you could see more of the just how shiny and
She's hulked
crazy
out.
that is. Yeah, it's like totally, definitely crazy.
Oh, those bedroom eyes.
And then blowing up the planet again. There's those bedroom eyes again.
I only blow up the bad planets.
Yes. This is probably just more stuff I saved.
I mean, this will be like the like my first hole in one in Mario Golf. When I roll credits in this game, that's gonna save somewhere, and I will back it up somewhere.
Oh yeah, there you go. That was it. Metroid Dread spoilers. That was that. I'm so satisfied with this game and how it ended and all that kind of stuff. So it's just for me, definitely a great way to cap off the series. For me, game of the year, I think, unless Death's Door might possibly. I don't know. We'll see. I'll see how that is. I'm looking forward to playing that, but we'll see.
Or story too.
Yeah.
Well, didn't you guys mention this in the show that this isn't the end?
This is not the end. No. You mean the Metroid games?
Yeah.
Yeah. No. I mean,
It's going somewhere, right?
the director mentioned that since probably because it's sold so well, he mentioned that there's going to be more Samus. There's going to be more Samus to come. So what that is, we don't know yet, and hopefully not another 19 years. Hopefully,
The worst.
right. Hopefully, I'm guessing maybe on the Switch 2, I'm hoping we'll see a another Metroid game in this series, because the Prime series is part of a different story arc. So And Seth reconfirmed it, saying Sakamoto recently said that Dread might not necessarily be the end of the story. So, and he also reconfirmed that Death's Door is really good, really in big word, in capital letters, really. so I'm looking forward to that though. Yes. And he also says, I think the story arc that started Metroid 1 is more or less wrapped up. It is wrapped up. 5 games in the series, wrapped up. It's a wrap. This arc, I guess if you were thinking of, comic books and you got your story arcs, there's still Superman comics, but different story arcs within those comics, So this will be the same way. As long as people buying the games, they'll make more.
The only Metroid left now is Samus.
You can do what now? I'm sorry.
The only Metroid left now is Samus.
Yes. It'd be interesting where they take the story now. And even interesting to see what they do with Metroid Prime 4, because Metroid Prime 4 is part of the backstory, because it happens between 1 and 2 of this Metroid series now. So where does 4 take place? Well, as far as we know, the Prime series is in there, but who knows what they will do with the actual Prime 4 game. Maybe they'll jump ahead somewhere with it, with that story. But yeah, it's going to be cool to see, and also be able to play the 3D aspect of Samus. So I'm excited for that. Couple more years. Just a couple more years. Well, guys, that's 3 hours of the dinner table. I think I can put you guys all out of your misery now. For all of you that stuck around, and Chris, and then also too, thanks a lot for stopping by, Scars No More. Thanks so much. It's cool that you popped in there.
Yeah, I was kicking myself afterwards saying, I didn't join, but I'm glad I joined when I did, because that was the most revealing part, is when you fight against the last boss. And I was like, yes.
Cool. Yep. Very cool. And so thanks. I don't think I'm going to publish this one because it's so long as a podcast. I don't know. I'll think about it, because there's a lot of visuals in it too, because I'm sharing my screen and stuff like that. But it is available, of course, in YouTube and streaming. You can watch the restream on Twitch. But again, thanks for everybody who stopped by. Seth, thanks so much. Thanks to Hambone Johnny when he was on earlier. And thanks to Nimfrendo and Caesar over on YouTube. I don't know if anybody else stopped by over there on YouTube, but all of you guys who are lurking, thanks for stopping by. But before we go, make sure if you're around, I always like to do my toast. And you know what? And I don't even have the document out. Where is it? Where is my toast document? You know what? I'm just going to toast. Guys, to an awesome Metroid Dread game after 19 years. We got to cap off the story. Enjoy a great game. It was not disappointing. And I think deserves every accolade that it gets. Whether it wins Game of the Year or not, it's still Game of the Year in my book. Even if Death's Door, I come back and say, nope, this is Game of the Year, I think this is still maybe, it's still Game of the Year. Just Game of the Year for now. Good night, everybody.
Cheers.
Cheers.